Chapter 1026. After old Madame Liang finished speaking, everyone present couldn't help but snicker. They felt that old Madame Liang was right. Zhao Ping really couldn't get married like this. If it wasn't for the fact that Qin Yuan was willing to marry her, Zhao Ping would probably have to stay at home for the rest of her life and become an old lady. No wonder Zhao Ping was so anxious. Thinking about it, it made sense. Ping Er's grandmother, help her comb her hair quickly. Don't make her anxious. That's right. Look at how anxious he is. Hurry up. We can't let the man wait. Otherwise, he won't be willing to wait and will turn around to leave. Who will marry Ping in the future? Haha, that's right, that's right. Ping Er's marriage isn't easy. Don't make things difficult for her. That's right. Hurry up and do it for her. Otherwise, Ping is going to cry. The people who wanted to join in the fun said one sentence after another with a hint of teasing. Zhao Ping wasn't in the mood to bicker with them. Instead, she continued to urge old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang was helpless. She could only help Zhao Ping's hairstyle quickly. After Zhao Ping's hairstyle was done, she looked in the mirror and started to apply rouge on her face. Ping what are you doing? Old Madame Liang had never seen this before. She curiously came over and asked Zhao Ping Grandmother, this is rouge. Rouge? Old Madame Liang looked at it and was still very puzzled. Yes, rouge. This thing is worth a lot. Zhao Ping said proudly. Knowing that there were so many people in the room, she was showing off. How much is it? Old Madame Liang asked weakly. Zhao Ping raised her voice and said, Grandmother, this is just a small box. It's worth a few hundred copper coins or one tael of silver. Hearing Zhao Ping's words, old Madame Liang looked at Zhao Ping in surprise. What? This thing is so expensive. It's just a small box. Little Ping, you're not talking nonsense, are you? Zhao Ping frowned and said, Grandmother, how could I talk nonsense? It's really that much. Why is it so expensive? You can buy a lot of meat with that money. Old Madame Liang felt. She felt that Zhao Ping's money was not worth it. Grandma, this is good stuff. You don't understand. After applying this stuff, it can make people look better. Zhao Ping's even more. The more she felt as complacent. After all, she was by buys to ts the people at the side heard, and some of them had heard of rouge before. They could not help but sigh. Looks like the third branch is really rich now. They're even willing to buy such expensive things for the lass. Isn't that so? I heard that rouge is only used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Yes, I've heard of it too. We country folk don't have the ability to use it. Ping can't even use things that are used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Sigh, what can we do? The third branch is rich. The envious voices around them grew. Zhao Ping's vanity was greatly satisfied. Liang Xinyue's jealousy grew. Not only did the ugly Zhao Ping have a wedding dress, but now she even has rouge. Chapter 1027. Why? Why did that slut Zhao Pinger have such a good life? Why wasn't their family the one who got rich? If their family was like Zhao Ping's family and got rich, they would probably be able to afford such an expensive rouge. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinyue muttered. She thought that if the rouge was used on her face, it would definitely make her face very beautiful. Zhao Ping's foundation was really too poor. No matter how much she dressed up, it couldn't cover up Zhao Ping's ugly face. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinzi chuckled. What are you talking about? It's their problem to waste, it has nothing to do with us. Besides, their family is rich. They have the money to waste, unlike us who can't even afford to buy it. After Liang Xinzi finished speaking, Liang Xinyue felt even more uncomfortable. Don't talk nonsense. When I said waste, I wasn't referring to this. I wasn't referring to that. I can't be bothered to talk to you. Liang Xinyue pursed her lips. Liang Xinzi didn't continue speaking. However, when she saw the jealousy on Liang Xinyue's face, Liang Xinzi's heart continued to feel a little better. She liked to see Liang Xinyue jealous of others while she couldn't get anything. Grandma, I'm getting married today, so I have to dress up beautifully. That's why I have to put on this rouge. Is that so? Old Madame Liang didn't know much about this. Zhao Ping nodded. Grandma, you'll know in a while. Old Madame Liang stared at Zhao Ping curiously. She wanted to see what Zhao Ping was going to do. Zhao Ping took out the rouge from the box and applied it to her face. After applying it, her whole face suddenly became much paler. Even some of the freckles on her face were covered. When Liang Jinqiao saw this, he could not help but exclaim, "Aw, Ping, girl, you look so much prettier." Zhao Ping smiled proudly and said, "Grandma, of course. Grandma, ordinary people can't get such a good thing." Old Madame Liang replied with a smile. "Haha, that's right. It's such a good thing and so expensive. Ordinary people can't get their hands on it. Grandma, do you think I've become more beautiful?" Zhao Pinger purposely moved her face closer to him. Old Madame Liang nodded as she looked at her spotless face. Yes, it does look better. With old Madame Liang's affirmation, Zhao Ping was even more proud. Thus, she continued to dig into the rouge box. After a while, she applied a lot of rouge on her face. After Zhao Ping's antics, his face, which was already pale enough, became as pale as a dead person's face. After that, Zhao Ping did not notice it at all. She still thought that she looked good with her makeup. After applying the rouge, Zhao Ping continued to apply red paper to her lips. Her lips were bright red, and it looked like modern lipstick. Thus, Zhao Ping's final makeup was a pale face with bright red lips and a birthmark on her face. She was originally a healthy person, but now she looked like a female ghost. Zhao Ping's birthmark could not be covered even by the rouge. Compared with her pale face, it was even more obvious and ugly. After seeing this, everyone fell silent. Chapter 1028. I don't look good. Zhao Ping asked in confusion. Old Madame Liang nodded and said, "Yes, Ping, you don't look good. Why don't you wipe off the rouge on your face?" Zhao Ping didn't believe her and insisted, "Grandma, how am I not pretty? I think I look pretty good. That's all." Since Zhao Ping insisted, the others didn't say anything. However, when they saw Zhao Ping dressed up like a ghost, they couldn't help but laugh. They didn't know where Zhao Ping got the courage to say that. Didn't she look in the mirror to see what she looked like? Liang Xinyue looked at her and was very proud. You're so stupid. Aren't you afraid that men will be scared to death if they see you like this?" Fortunately, she covered her face with a veil in advance. Once the veil was put on, no one could see what Zhao Ping looked like. However, Zhao Ping's future husband would definitely see Zhao Ping's ghostly appearance. Liang Xinyue was curious. When the Qin Yuan took off Zhao Yun's veil, would he think that he had seen a ghost? Faced with such a face, how could they continue to consummate their marriage? At this moment, Liang Xinyue felt a little sympathy for the Qin Yuan. What she didn't understand was why a woman like Zhao Ping was willing to marry her. Ping, I'm doing this for your own good. Why don't you listen to me? Do you really want to get married like this? The more old Madame Liang looked at Xiao Ping's face, the more uncomfortable she felt. In the end, she couldn't help but nag at Xiao Ping again. Xiao Ping frowned. Grandma, I put a lot of effort into dressing up. I think it's pretty good. Didn't you say it was pretty good just now? Why are you saying it's not good now? Old Madame Liang sighed. You could before, but now you've smeared too much on your face. That's why it looks weird. Xiao Ping frowned even more. Grandma, this rouge is very expensive. It would be a waste to wipe it off. Don't worry, just put it on your face. Fine. Ping, it's your fault for being disobedient. Don't blame us later for dressing you up. Xiao Ping grinned. Got it, Grandma. I won't scold you. That's good. Old Madame Liang nodded. After Xiao Ping finished dressing up, she immediately covered herself with the red veil. She then sat on the bed, waiting for Qin Yuan to pick her up. When she sat on the bed, she was nervous and excited. She wished that Qin Yuan could come over right away and marry her as soon as possible. After Xiao Ping covered herself with the red veil, the people who came over to see how the bride looked like all left one after another. Now that they saw the bride's face, they felt that she was very scary. Ordinary people probably didn't have the courage to face such a woman. They had been here for so many years, and had seen many brides. Xiao Ping was the most well-dressed but ugly one they had ever seen. As they left, they were still chattering. Sigh, don't talk about Ping. Why did she only get married at such an old age? Her appearance is really too shabby. Exactly. She's not only ugly, but she also smears her face like a ghost. It's so scary. Chapter 1029. Haha, it's mainly because Pinger is so interesting. She thinks she's pretty. Some people just don't know their place. She doesn't even know what she looks like. Why would she waste such a good rouge on her face? The rouge belongs to her. She doesn't care about it. What can you do? I really don't know what to do, but today is really interesting. Haha, I want to see how the groom will react when he sees the bride. I wonder if he'll be as scared as we are. However, we probably won't be able to see it. After all, the bride's red veil won't be lifted until the wedding night. Alas, what a pity. Most of these people were making sarcastic remarks. After all, Xiao Pinger's flaunting made them feel uncomfortable. Therefore, they naturally wanted to see Xiao Pinger make a fool of herself. In the room of the third branch, most of the outsiders had left. Only the family stayed. Seeing that Xiao Pinger was finally going to get married, old lady Liang couldn't help sighing. Alas, I finally get to see Pinger get married. That's great. That's right. It's really not easy to see Pinger get married. Sister, you don't have to worry about Pinger anymore. Wu Zhenju followed behind old lady Liang and agreed. However, there was a slight difference in their tones. When old lady Liang said that, she sounded very happy, but when Wu Zhenju said that, he sounded a little jealous. Liang Jinchao smiled. Yeah, it's really not easy for Pinger to get married. Today is a big day. I have to make arrangements for Pinger so that she can get married in a grand way. After Liang Jinchao finished speaking, Wu Zhenju said sourly, Sister, you really married Pinger off in a grand way. Look at Pinger's outfit. How many girls from other families can dress like this? You're only willing to spend money on her. Most people probably won't. Also, eldest sister, I heard that your family's banquet is going to have 10 tables. We've seen a lot of happy events. It's really not easy to have 10 tables. Liang Jinchao smiled sheepishly and said, Ping is finally getting married. Since her family is able to afford it, of course we'll do it for her. Actually, the total cost isn't that much. Wu Zhenju said with a fake smile. What are you talking about? You look so grand, but you still say that you didn't spend much money. It seems that your family has really made a lot of money, so you don't care about this little bit of money, right? Well, it's not that big of a deal. As long as we can live a good life, it's enough. Liang Jinchao said casually. Of course, she wouldn't tell Wu Zhenju how much money she had made. Precisely because Liang Jinchao didn't want to tell him, Wu Zhenju wanted to know how much money Liang Jinchao's family had made. Eldest sister, what are you talking about? How can we live a good life? It's simply wonderful. Wu Zhenju continued. Liang Jinchao really didn't want to continue talking about this topic, but Wu Zhenju wouldn't let it go. Liang Jinchao was very distressed. What her family was doing and how much money they had made was their family's business. It had nothing to do with other people. Chapter 1030. Second sister-in-law, it's not me. It's Yun'er's ability. Liang Jinchao pushed all the blame onto Zhao Yun'er. At this moment, Zhao Yun'er wasn't in the house. Liang Jinchao thought that Wu Zhenju would drop the topic. However, to Liang Jinchao's disappointment, Wu Zhenju kept on asking. Oh right, big sister, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought about it. Now that you mention it, I remember. What happened to your family's Yun'er? Tell us about it. Liang Jinchao met Wu Zhenju's gossipy eyes and felt a sharp pain in his forehead. Oh God, why was his second sister-in-law so talkative? She kept on asking questions as if she was interested in everything in their family. There were some things that Liang Jinchao really didn't want to reveal, but Wu Zhenju asked very directly. He didn't know what Wu Zhenju wanted to do. After all, she was his second sister-in-law. No matter how annoying Wu Zhenju was, Liang Jinchao couldn't say anything to Wu Zhenju. He couldn't not respond to Wu Zhenju, and he couldn't make Wu Zhenju shut up. Second sister-in-law, don't ask so many questions. Big sister is already busy enough today. She doesn't have the energy to answer so many of your questions. Guicaixia couldn't stand it anymore and stood up for Liang Jinchao. Wu Zhenju replied unhappily, I'm also concerned about big sister's family situation. Concern is concern, but you can't ask like this. Look at big sister's headache now because of you. Guicaixia said sarcastically. The two sisters-in-law didn't have a good relationship and didn't see eye to eye with each other. Now that there was an opportunity to criticize each other, how could they let it go? Wu Zhenju wanted to say something but was stopped by old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang said to Wu Zhenju, second daughter-in-law, your sister-in-law is right. I think you'd better not ask. If you have any questions, you can ask them slowly after Ping's marriage is over. After all, old Madame Liang was his mother-in-law. In the Liang family, the daughter-in-law had to listen to her mother-in-law. No matter how strong Wu Zhenju was, he was still respectful to old Madame Liang. Wu Zhenju stopped for a moment after old Madame Liang finished speaking. The family gathered together and continued to chat casually. Old Madame Liang went to Liang Jinchao and asked about the situation with Zhao Ping's in-laws. After all, she didn't live in the same village as Liang Jinchao. Old Madame Liang was old and it was difficult for her to move around. Therefore, she didn't know much about Zhao Yun'er's family situation. Liang Jinchao told her about the situation. Old Madame Liang was quite cold. Only then did she understand how Zhao Ping got married. It turned out that they spent money to see Zhao Ping get married. This kind of thing was really rare. After all, no man would be willing to marry Zhao Yun'er with that face of hers. Old Madame Liang muttered, it's okay, it's okay. Ping can get married. It doesn't matter if the family is poor, as long as the person is normal. Some girls even have to marry a fool or a cripple. In comparison, Ping-er's family is much better. That's right. Liang Jinchao replied. Marrying a fool or a cripple was harming his daughter. Liang Jinchao couldn't do such a thing. Even if Xiao Ping-er couldn't get married, he wouldn't let Xiao Ping marry someone like that. That would be harming her for the rest of her life. Chapter 1031. While they were talking, Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinyu came over. Liang Jinfen's whole family came over to eat at the wedding banquet. Nominally, it was because Xiao Ping-er was getting married, and it was inappropriate for her to not come as a second aunt. But in fact, she just wanted to eat more. As soon as Liang Jinfen came in, she said to the room, "Oh, everyone is here." "Yes." Wu Zhenju responded and said to Liang Jinfen, "Second sister, your family is here too." Liang Jinfen was very polite to Wu Zhenju. She smiled and said, "Yes, isn't this Ping-er's big day? I'm Ping-er's second aunt. How could I not come?" Wu Zhenju nodded and said, "That's right. Ping-er's wedding is a big day. As relatives, we should come and support her. Haha, that's why I'm here now. Second sister, you must be tired after such a long journey, right? Sit down and rest." Wu Zhenju greeted her warmly, as if he was entertaining people in his own home. Liang Jinfen responded with a smile, "Okay, let's all take a rest." "Okay." As soon as they sat down, Liang Jinfen looked around curiously. When he saw Xiao Ping-er, he sighed and said, "Oh, Ping-er looks so good today." With that, Liang Jinfen moved closer to Xiao Ping-er to take a good look. Liang Jinchao smiled and said, "Ping-er is getting married today. Of course, she has to dress up. Naturally, she has to look better than usual." Liang Jinfen responded with a smile, "Of course. After all, Ping is getting married today. Of course, she has to dress up." Liang Jinfen responded, Of course. Ping doesn't have it easy. I'm late and haven't seen how Ping-er looks today. Let me take a look." As Liang Jinfen spoke, he moved closer to Xiao Ping-er. He asked Xiao Ping-er, "Ping-er, can I lift your veil and take a look?" Xiao Ping-er thought for a while and finally said, "Okay, second aunt. Just one look." In fact, Xiao Ping-er felt that she should let more people see her beautiful appearance. She should let her second aunt see what she looked like after dressing up. It would be best if her second aunt could compliment her when she saw her. Liang Jinfen walked over with a smile and lifted Xiao Ping-er's veil. Liang Jinfen jumped in fright when she saw what was on the screen. "Oh! Ghost!" Liang Jinfen screamed and fell backward. Seeing Liang Jinfen scream and the words that came out of Liang Jinfen's mouth, everyone in the room was stunned at first. Then, they all reacted differently. Xiao Ping-er was furious. Ghost? He called her a ghost. Coupled with Liang Jinfen's reaction, wasn't this too exaggerated? Xiao Ping-er wasn't stupid enough to think that Liang Jinfen wasn't talking about her. Hence, she looked at Liang Jinfen angrily and complained to Liang Jinfen. "Second aunt, who are you calling a ghost?" After hearing Xiao Ping-er's voice, Liang Jinfen realized that he wasn't looking at a ghost. It was Xiao Ping-er. Instantly, she felt very awkward. Chapter 1032. After Liang Jinfen explained, he felt that it would be better if he didn't explain at all. The more he explained, the more confused it would be. Xiao Ping-er pouted and asked angrily, "Aunt, are you blind or something? Are you trying to make me angry?" "Ping-er, I won't make you angry on purpose. It's just your face is too white, and you look like a ghost. I will be scared. Liang Jinfen was also somewhat displeased with a sentence of ridicule. It would be fine if she was just talking nonsense, but what she said was the truth. How could she not tell the truth? Zhao Ping was simply an idiot. It was fine if she was ugly, but if she dressed up properly, she would at least look like a normal person. Now, she wasn't even a normal person, but directly turned into a ghost. It was really frightening to look at. Why didn't Zhao Ping notice it herself? Did she think that she was beautiful in this way? Her family was also strange. Zhao Ping dressed up like this. Didn't anyone say anything? Didn't anyone remind her? How was this marriage? It was simply frightening. If the groom suddenly lifted the red veil and saw Zhao Ping's dignified appearance, he would probably have the same reaction as her. He would think that he had seen a ghost. Thinking of this, Liang Jinfen suddenly felt that it was funny. There would definitely be a good show to watch later. Mom. Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinqiao. Liang Jinqiao's eyes moved. He walked forward helplessly and comforted Zhao Ping. All right, Ping, don't be sad. Mom thinks that you dress up like this. Normal people don't dress like this. Put the veil back on. With Liang Jinqiao's comfort, Zhao Ping felt much better. Okay. Zhao Ping responded softly, and then put the red veil back on. After Zhao Ping covered her head with the red veil, Liang Jinqiao gave Liang Jinfen a look, indicating that Liang Jinfen should stop talking. Liang Jinfen had no choice but to play along. The other people in the room snickered. They couldn't be blamed. They really couldn't take it anymore. With Zhao Ping's appearance, as long as one was a human, they would think that she was a ghost. She didn't know why Zhao Ping didn't have that kind of self-awareness. She still felt good about herself even though others had such a reaction. How interesting. When Liang Jinfen saw the others laughing, he laughed as well. She thought that her eldest sister would dress Zhao Ping up beautifully and marry her off. If her face was seen by others, she would definitely become a joke and be talked about to death. After a while, Zhao Yun's smile and Liang Jinyu came over as well. Liang Jinyu's family only came over alone. They didn't even bring their children. Compared to when Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinyu came over, the relatives of the Liang family didn't pay much attention to her. They were close to Liang Jinfen because Liang Jinfen's family was well-to-do. They weren't so close to Liang Jinyu because Liang Jinyu's family wasn't well-to-do. The Liang family's relatives were very snobbish. They knew that if they were close to rich relatives, they could still ask for help if they were in trouble in the future. However, if they were too close to poor relatives, they probably wouldn't be able to help them in the future. Instead, they would come to ask for help. No one liked relatives who took advantage of others. It was fine if they didn't get too close to poor relatives in the beginning. Chapter 1033. Nevertheless, she still greeted them with a smile. Sister-in-law, mother. Other than old Madame Liang, the others only responded with a faint sound and ignored Liang Jinyu. Naturally, Liang Jinyu did not feel good about this situation. She just smiled embarrassedly. In fact, she was used to this kind of situation. After all, she wasn't liked at home. Every time she went back to her parents' home, her brothers and sisters-in-law would treat her coldly. She knew the reason. It was because her family was too poor. Other people looked down on her family. This was a matter of no disrespect. Except for her family members, many people in the village were the same. When they saw her family members, they didn't like her. Liang Jinqiao went forward and asked Liang Jinyu, "Jinyu, are you the only one who came from your family? Why didn't the others come?" Old Madame Liang also asked, "Yes, Jinyu, why are you the only one who came? Where are your family members? Liang Jinyu smiled and said, Mother, it's fine for me to come alone. Why are they here? Won't it be troublesome for eldest sister's family to entertain one more person? Don't all the people who come here to drink alone? Who would bring their whole family here? After Liang Jinyu finished her words, the other people in the room felt their faces begin to burn with pain. Whether it was Zhao Yun, Er's eldest uncle or second uncle, or Zhao Yun, Er's second aunt, they all came with a lot of people. Liang Jinyu's words were a slap to their faces. She said that they brought too many people in front of Liang Jinqiao. Liang Jinfen's mouth twitched. He smiled embarrassedly and said, Jinyu, you're wrong. We're family members. How can it be the same? Since Ping is getting married, all of us relatives have to come. After Liang Jinfen said that, Liang Jinyu couldn't help but say, but Jinyu, you didn't say that before. When your younger brother got married, I went with my husband, and you even scolded me. After Liang Jinyu finished speaking, Liang Jinfen's expression froze and his smile froze. Being slapped in the face like this, Liang Jinfen didn't know what to say. Thinking back to the past, it did seem to be the case. She didn't think that Liang Jinyu would still remember and mention it directly. Liang Jinfen didn't know what to say all of a sudden. That's enough, little sister. We're all family, not outsiders. Liang Jinqiao said, trying to defuse the situation. Yeah, how? Liang Jinfen smiled awkwardly. In the room of the third branch, the women gathered together and liked to chatter. Zhao Ping sat in the room and waited anxiously. While waiting, she muttered, Mother, why isn't Brother Yuan here yet? Is Big Brother Yuan not coming? When people were anxious, they liked to let their imagination run wild. Zhao Ping was like that. Seeing that Qin Yuan hadn't come for a long time, she began to guess. Liang Jinqiao walked over and comforted her, Little Ping, don't worry. It's not time yet. What are you talking about? You said it yesterday. Even if you want to go back on your words, you won't go back on your words so soon. Zhao Pinger pouted her lips. Mom, I'm just doing it. Chapter 1034. Alright, Ping, don't worry. Qin Yuan will definitely come. You have to wait for a while. How about this? I'll cook something for you first. It's going to take a long time today. If you're picked up, your husband's family might not give you anything to eat. Liang Jinqiao cared about his daughter. He knew that getting married was not an easy thing. If she didn't eat well now, she would be hungry for the whole day. When the bride was picked up, her husband's family would make a fuss. They wouldn't know whether the bride had eaten or was hungry. Therefore, before the bride got married, her husband's family would ask her if she wanted to eat something to fill her stomach in case she was hungry. Zhao Ping didn't care about Liang Jinqiao's concern at all. Zhao Ping replied unhappily, Mom, I don't want to eat. Mom, I'm waiting for Brother Yuan now. I'm not in the mood. Liang Jinqiao said helplessly, all right then. Ping, if you're hungry, don't blame me for not eating with you in advance. Mom, what are you talking about? I'm not blaming you. If I'm really hungry later, I'll tell my mother-in-law. She'll definitely cook something for me. All right. If you're hungry, you can tell her yourself. Don't keep quiet when you're hungry. I know, Mom. I'm not stupid. That's good. Zhao Ping sat in the house and waited anxiously, while Zhao Yun was busy preparing the banquet outside. There were a lot of preparations for the banquet at noon. The chicken was already stewed in the pot, and the other dishes were already cut. Once the banquet started, these dishes could be poured into the pot and cooked quickly. It could speed up the serving of the dishes. Xiao Yun only wanted to get busy as soon as possible so that she wouldn't be in a hurry when the banquet started. There were quite a lot of people in old Zhao's courtyard. The women in the village went to Xiao Yun's house to join in the fun and chat. There weren't many ways to entertain in the village, and a lively event like a wedding was even rarer. Therefore, Xiao Yun's family had many talents. Mulan and Mu Hin were both busy and did not have the time to talk like the other women. Seeing that no one had come to pick up the bride, Mulan went to Xiao Yun'er and said, "Yun'er, why hasn't your sister's-in-laws come yet? It's almost time." Mulan went to Xiao Yun'er and said. Xiao Yun'er shook her head and said, "I don't know. Yun'er, I don't want to say this, but your sister Ping'er's in-laws are really unreliable. They still drag on such an important event like the wedding." Xiao Yun'er replied helplessly, "What should we do? They don't want to marry my sister Ping'er. Alas, the wedding is already like this. If she marries over, she will probably be even more disliked." Xiao Yun'er nodded, "Of course, but it's better if she's disliked. I'm afraid that they will like her." Xiao Yun'er's words made Mulan laugh. "Ha, Yun'er, what you said is really interesting. I'm telling the truth. Our family is too good to my sister Ping'er and spoils her. If my sister Ping'er marries into another family, she will know what it's like." Chapter 1035. Her mother-in-law's family was different from her mother-in-law's family. She had to listen to her mother-in-law. She remembered that when she had just married into the family, she had been tortured by Mrs. Zhu. She had to do all kinds of hard work. Otherwise, she would be scolded to death by Mrs. Zhu. She could bear hardships and cooperate with her mother-in-law, but Xiao Ping was too lazy to do anything in her mother-in-law's family. If she didn't do anything in her mother-in-law's family, she would be scolded to death. While they were chatting, they saw a group of people coming over. It was the family of Qin Yuan. However, when the family of Qin Yuan came over, they only asked people to carry a broken sedan chair. The sedan chair looked very shabby, as if it was made from somewhere. Half of the sedan chair was broken. They probably didn't have enough money to rent it, so they used this kind of sedan chair that no one else wanted. When the people who came to pick up the bride came over, they heard the sound of a gong. "Ah, the people who came to pick up the bride are here. They're here. They're finally here. They've been waiting for so long." Once the family of Qin Yuan came over, the crowd who wanted to join in the fun immediately looked over. Xiao Yun'er and Mulan also stopped what they were doing and looked in the direction of Qin Yuan. As the groom today, Qin Yuan was wearing a red groom's suit. However, the groom's suit looked very old. It didn't look new. If Xiao Yun knew that Qin Yuan's groom was worn by Qin Dashan when he got married, what would she think? However, although his clothes were a little old, Qin Yuan was handsome, so he still looked very elegant. He was very good-looking. After the crowd saw the appearance of Qin Yuan, they began to whisper to each other. "Let's not talk about other things. The groom today is really handsome. Yeah, I've never seen such a handsome man before." It seems that Ping took advantage of the situation. She thought that her groom was also ugly. Now that I've seen it, I finally know why Ping can't wait to get married. Seeing such a handsome little husband, she wants to be taken back to the bridal chamber as soon as possible. "Ha, that's right, but why did you bring such a broken palanquin over? Everyone in the family is dressed so shabbily. They must be poor. No wonder. He probably can't find a wife, so he came here to marry Ping. That should be it. Ha, that's right. Otherwise, with such a handsome face, it would be very easy to find a wife. His family is probably too poor. How could an ordinary family bear to let their daughter marry into a poor family and suffer? Speaking of which, this Ping, her girl is dressed so nicely. If she uses this kind of sedan to receive her in-laws, I wonder what they will think. What can she think? It's not like she doesn't know that her mother-in-law's family is poor. Since she's willing to marry over, she naturally knows. It's fine as long as Ping doesn't complain. Yes, as long as Ping doesn't complain and is happy, it's fine. Haha. The gossipers chattered one after another. Zhao Yun squinted her eyes to look at Qin Yuan's family. Seeing Qin Yuan's long face, she knew that he didn't seem to be happy. It was understandable. It would be abnormal if he was happy to marry such an ugly woman like Zhao Ping. Chapter 1036. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched, and she said indifferently, "That's my sister Ping's business, not me. The family Qin is poor, and they don't care about sister Ping. Naturally, they won't be willing to spend money to rent a good sedan chair." Sigh. That's really stingy. When your sister Ping marries into that family in the future, I'm 80% sure that her in-laws won't treat her well. Zhao Yun pursed her lips. Sister-in-law Mulan, don't worry about it. I already said that it's best that way. Okay. Let's not talk about it. Let's take a rest and watch the show for a while. Zhao Yun responded. As the family Qin people walked closer, the sound of the gong also became louder. The Liang family members in the room hurriedly said, "Ping, your husband is here. He's already in the courtyard. He's here. As these people spoke, Zhao Ping couldn't hold back her excitement and asked patiently, "Really? It's true. Little Ping, listen, the sound of the gong is really loud." Zhao Ping stretched her ears to listen for a while. It was true. Gid Yuan really came. He really came. That's great. It seems that Gid Yuan didn't come so late because he ran away from the marriage. Zhao Ping quickly jumped up from the bed and looked like she was about to run out. Liang Jinqiao saw that and hurriedly pulled Liang Jinqiao back. He said to Zhao Ping, Ping, where are you going? Mother, didn't you say that Gid Yuan is here? I'm going out now to see Gid Yuan and leave with him. After Zhao Ping said that, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. He said to Zhao Ping, Ping, are you kidding? Nonsense. Zhao Ping looked at Liang Jinqiao in confusion and asked Liang Jinqiao, Mother, I'm going out. How is that nonsense? I can't let Gid Yuan wait for too long. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but say, Ping, you really don't know any rules. How can you be like this? No rush. Let's wait for that child Qin Yuan to come over first. Mom. Zhao Pinger looked very anxious. What if Brother Yuan leaves after waiting for a long time? Don't worry, he won't. It's fine if you get married, but you have to follow the rules. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at when you get married? Liang Jinqiao said helplessly. If it weren't for her stopping her, Zhao Ping would probably have really rushed out of the room. Well. Mother, I'll wait for a while more. Zhao Ping said bashfully. When she sat back on the bed, Zhao Ping felt as if she was performing acupuncture. Her heart had long flown out, and she was eager to leave with Qin Yuan as soon as possible. Zhao Ping's attitude inevitably became a joke in the eyes of others. The Liang family covered their mouths and snickered. They had seen unreserved girls before, but they had never seen a girl as unreserved as Zhao Ping. Thinking about Liang Jinqiao and Zhao Wenhua, they felt really tired to have such a mentally retarded daughter to worry about. Guo Caisha said with a smile, since the person who came to pick up the bride is here, let's go out and go through the procedures. Yes, let's go. Saying that, the people in the room went out. Whether it was Xiao Yun's aunts or cousins, they all walked out curiously. Chapter 1037. As the saying goes, what kind of person is matched with what kind of person? With Xiao Ping's ugly appearance, she could only be matched with an incomparably ugly man. But after seeing them, they realized that the truth was completely different from what they had imagined. They saw that among the men who came to receive the bride, there was a very handsome man wearing a red wedding robe. This man was much better looking than the average man in the village. When they saw Qin Yuan, their first reaction was that he was good looking. Their second reaction was that an ugly woman like Xiao Ping could actually marry such a good-looking man. It was like a fresh flower stuck in cow dung. Ping Jia's husband is really handsome. Liang Xinzi sighed after seeing him. Liang Xinyue's heart was filled with jealousy. I say, Jia, you're staring at a man and still saying such things. Don't you know what shame is? Liang Xinzi's mouth curved. I'm telling the truth, so what? The man I'm looking at isn't some other man, but Ping Jia's husband. Then you can't look at him. Why are you staring at Ping Jia's husband? Could it be that you want to snatch him? Facing Liang Xinyue's aggressive words, Liang Xinzi was too lazy to argue with Liang Xinyue. You Jia, I'm not as dirty as you think. I'm just happy for Ping Jia. After all, such a good-looking man can't be married to most people. Liang Xinzi's words were very hypocritical in Liang Xinyue's eyes. That's enough, big sister Z. Stop pretending. You're just envious of Ping Jia. I reckon that she also wants to marry such a handsome man. Liang Xinzi chuckled. When did I say that? You Jia, don't speak nonsense. Could it be that it's not true? Am I the only one who knows? Why is it that little sister has become a roundworm in my stomach and knows better than I do? Keep being stubborn. Liang Xinyue snorted and continued to look at Qin Yuan. Although Qin Yuan was quite handsome, his family was too poor. They actually came to pick up the bride in such a shabby sedan chair. If it were her, she probably wouldn't be willing to go up. It was really embarrassing to be married in such a sedan. It's beautiful, but it's too poor. If it were me, I definitely wouldn't want it. Only someone like Sister Pinger is suitable, Liang Xinyue muttered. The corners of Liang Xinzi's mouth curled up again. Her cousin was just like that. For the sake of money, she didn't care about a man's looks. The family that Liang Xinyue talked to was quite well-to-do, but the man was too wild. After all, there was a butcher in his family, and he had a murderous aura. He was about the same as an ordinary butcher. He was tall and sturdy, had a full beard, and looked fierce. He was clearly in his early 20s, but he looked like a man in his 30s or 40s. With just a glance, people didn't want to continue looking. Liang Xinyue was like a little lamb in front of this kind of man. Liang Xinzi was worried that her cousin wouldn't be able to handle this kind of man. Wasn't she afraid that she would be eaten up without spitting out any bones? In any case, if it were her, she wouldn't be with someone else just because they were rich. She would feel disgusted if she was with that kind of man. The Qin family arrived at old Zhao's courtyard. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao came out to receive them. The two families first chatted for a while, then followed the procedure. They stayed at old Zhao's house for about 10 minutes before letting Zhao Pinger go out. Chapter 1038. Really, second aunt? Second aunt? Zhao Pinger happily asked. It's okay, really. Wu Zhenju supported Zhao Pinger as he spoke. Come on, Pinger, second aunt will send you out. Okay, thank you, second aunt. Zhao Pinger said and quickly got up from the bed. Seeing that her daughter was about to get married, Liang Jinchao suddenly felt a little reluctant to part with her. After she married into her husband's family, she would not be able to see them often like she did in her mother's family. A married daughter was like spilled water, and she would have fewer opportunities to be with her mother's family. After all, she was her daughter. No matter how much Xiaoping tormented her in daily life, she would feel sad now that she was about to get married. Liang Jinchao's eyes reddened slightly, and she wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Liang Jinchao pulled Xiaoping's hand, and she was a little reluctant to let Xiaoping leave. Mother, what do you want to say? Xiaoping originally wanted to go out immediately, so she was very happy. However, before she went out, Liang Jinchao pulled her again, so she couldn't help but ask impatiently. Liang Jinchao sobbed, wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, and reminded Xiaoping, when you go to your husband's family, don't act like you're in your mother's family. After all, you're not their daughter, and they won't dote on you too much. When you're in their family, you have to be diligent. You can't be lazy, or they'll dislike you. Also, you have to be filial and serve your in-laws well. Liang Jinchao reminded her a few times, and she talked for a long time. Her hand held Xiaoping's hand tightly, and she said to Xiaoping. The more Xiaoping listened, the more impatient she became. Her mother was really. Usually, she didn't say anything. Now that she was in a hurry to go out, she pulled her hand and talked non-stop. Therefore, Xiaoping said to Liang Jinchao unhappily, Mother, you've said so much. Are you done? I'm going out. If there's anything, we can talk about it later. Liang Jinchao looked at Xiaoping helplessly, as if a basin of cold water had been poured over his heart. She couldn't bear to part with Xiaoping, but Xiaoping's heart wasn't with her. Forget it, it was useless for him to say anything more. It was better to let Xiaoping leave quickly. Therefore, Liang Jinchao did not continue to hide it from Xiaoping. Instead, he asked Xiaoping to go out. Watching Xiaoping leave, Liang Jinchao sighed slightly. With this girl's temperament, it would be strange if her in-laws didn't criticize her. Liang Jinyu comforted from the side. Big sister, don't worry about it. The grandchildren will have their own blessings. Who knows, Ping might become more sensible after she marries over. Liang Jinchao sighed and shook his head. Sigh, forget it. We can only do this. After Xiaoping went out, she became even more excited when she heard the commotion outside. Once she thought of Qin Yuan, Xiaoping couldn't hold it in anymore. It was great that she was finally married to her big brother Yuan. She was dressed so nicely today. She wondered what big brother Yuan would think when he saw her. Would he think that she looked stunning like this? Xiaoping was also curious about how Qin Yuan was dressed and whether it looked good. Her family was Yuan, and he was already handsome. If he wore a wedding dress and dressed up properly, he would definitely be even more handsome. Xiaoping couldn't help but secretly lift up the red veil, wanting to take a look. Before she could see anything, Wu Zhenju pressed it down. Ping, you can't lift it up. You can't lift it up. Wait until the groom lifts it up for you at night. Then you can lift it up. Chapter 1039. Look, Ping girl. What are you looking at? Wu Zhenju asked. Zhao Ping said shyly, Second aunt, I want to see my husband. Wu Zhenju chuckled. Ping girl, your husband is very good looking. Ping girl, it's not like you haven't seen him before. After you get married, you can take a good look at him at night. There's no need to rush things now. Zhao Ping nodded when she heard that. Okay, second aunt, I understand. Hee, Ping, girl, it's good that you understand. Cover your head properly and don't let anyone see you. Okay, second aunt. Zhao Ping nodded cooperatively. Wu Zhenju brought Zhao Ping to Qin Yuan. He said to Qin Yuan, "Here, groom, I'll bring the bride to you." "Thank you," Qin Yuan said. Looking at Zhao Ping standing in front of him, he felt that she was different from usual. Zhao Ping was wearing a bright red wedding dress. If he didn't think of Zhao Ping's face, he would have thought that she was a great beauty. Thinking of Zhao Ping's face, Qin Yuan couldn't help but frown. Mu Chunfang saw Zhao Ping's outfit today and said with a smile, "Ping, our girl is really beautiful today." "Yuan, you're lucky." Mu Chuanfang's intention was to tell Qin Yuan not to look so gloomy and unhappy. After all, it was a joyous occasion to get married. They couldn't just put on a sullen face and look unhappy. It was as if they were holding a funeral at home. How was this a joyous occasion? Ha, Qin Yuan snorted. Did he think that he was a fool? Only a fool would believe that. Okay, stop talking. Let Ping get into the sedan chair. Wu Zhenju called out. Mu Chunfang nodded and said, "Yes, let Ping get into the sedan chair first." Okay. With that, Mu Chunfang helped Zhao Ping into the sedan chair. "Ping, girl, slow down. Don't bump into anything," Mu Chunfang reminded her. "Got it, mother." Zhao Ping answered happily. Mu Chunfang directly called her mother instead of Mu Chunfang. After all, she was going to marry into the Qin family today, so she was a member of the Qin family. It was fine to change it now. Mu Chunfang chuckled and replied, "Okay." He was very happy to see Zhao Ping. After all, he was marrying a wife. No matter how bad Zhao Ping was, she was still a normal woman. She could bear children in the future and carry on their family Qin family line. Let's go. Mu Chunfang said after carrying Zhao Ping into the sedan chair. The people carrying the sedan chair lifted it up a little. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound. Everyone was stunned. They didn't know what had happened. Then, they saw that the bottom of the sedan chair was broken. Zhao Ping fell out of the sedan chair. "Ah!" Zhao Ping screamed as she fell to the ground. "Ah, Ping, girl, what happened?" Mu Chunfang quickly asked. "Mother, it hurts." Zhao Ping complained. "Ah, why did the sedan chair fall apart?" Mu Chunfang saw the situation and quickly asked. Staring at the broken sedan chair, he was at a loss. They were supposed to pick up the bride. Why did the sedan chair suddenly fall apart? Great, how were they supposed to pick up the bride? Chapter 1040. Zhao Ping grumbled and complained. How could they carry such a sedan chair over to her wedding like this? Although she knew that the Qin Yuan family was a little poor, they shouldn't do this. As Zhao Ping fell, the red veil on her face suddenly fell off, revealing her frightening makeup underneath. Many people who didn't see Zhao Ping's makeup were shocked by Zhao Ping's appearance. Especially those who were carrying the sedan chair. Because they were right beside Zhao Ping, they were frightened by Zhao Ping, and quickly ran away. "Ah, there's a ghost. There's a ghost. Help. For a moment, old Zhao's courtyard was in a mess. They were all frightened by Zhao Ping's appearance. Mu Chunfang looked towards Zhao Ping. When he saw Zhao Ping's face that was as white as a ghost, he originally wanted to help Zhao Ping up. However, he was frightened by Zhao Ping's and fell back. He sat on the ground, still in shock, and patted his chest with his other hand. He muttered, "Oh my God, there's a ghost." Zhao Ping was still complaining because she was in pain from the fall. "Mother, it hurts so much. Mother, why didn't you get me a good sedan chair?" When Mu Chunfang saw that Zhao Ping was talking to him, he was stunned for a moment before he realized that what he saw was not a ghost, but Zhao Ping, Ping. Ping, the girl. Mu Chunfang asked uncertainly. "Mother." Zhao Ping, mumbled. "Ah. Ping, girl, how did you end up like this? You really scared me." As Mu Chunfang spoke, he went in front of Zhao Ping, and pulled Zhao Ping, up from the ground. "Mother, my butt is almost broken from the fall." After Zhao Ping complained, she wiped her face. "Mother, don't I look good today?" Mu Chunfang swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva into his stomach. "Look good? How could she look good?" Zhao Ping looked even better than usual. She couldn't be described as ugly anymore. She was very scary. She was so scared that his soul almost left his body. He didn't know what happened to Zhao Ping, or that made her dress like this. "Ping, you look worse than usual," Mu Chunfang said weakly. Actually, if she really dressed up properly, she wouldn't look bad. Now that she looked like this, even a woman like Zhao Ping would be scared to death, let alone a man. It would be strange if his Yuan was willing to touch such a woman. Sigh. Mu Chunfang sighed in his heart. Thinking about how pitiful his Yuan was, it was all his parents' fault. If he had money, he could also let Qin Yuan marry a beautiful girl. Now, he could only marry someone like Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was really helpless about this. He could only think about it in the future. When their family situation improved, he could continue to arrange other marriages for Qin Yuan and find a presentable daughter-in-law. Qin Yuan glanced at Zhao Ping on the ground, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. He originally had some fantasies about Zhao Ping, and thought that Zhao Ping, could give him a surprise if she dressed up properly. He didn't expect to be surprised when he saw Zhao Ping's appearance. She didn't look like a bride at all. She looked like a female ghost. Qin Yuan's face instantly darkened. Idiot. Chapter 1041. No matter where he went, people would probably say that he married a ghost-like wife. The more Qin Yuan thought about it, the angrier he got. If she was ugly, he could tolerate it, but if she was stupid, he really couldn't accept it. Looking at Zhao Ping's ghost-like face, Qin Yuan really wanted to fling his sleeves and directly reject this marriage. Losing face now was better than losing face after marrying Zhao Ping. Mother. It's not that exaggerated, right? I just put on a bit more rouge. Rouge is good stuff. Zhao Ping muttered. AI. Okay, Ping, girl, don't say any more. Hurry up and cover your head, let's go back. Mu Chunfang said as she picked up the red veil on the ground and covered Zhao Ping's head with it. Mu Chunfang was worried that Qin Yuan would be angry if he saw Zhao Ping like this. What if Qin Yuan threw a tantrum and quit now? What should he do then? Anyway, this time, they had to marry Zhao Ping. Okay, mother, Zhao Ping replied resentfully. Mother, I can't still be sitting in this broken sedan, right? Otherwise, I'll fall again. Zhao Ping scolded. Mu Chunfang suddenly felt very embarrassed. This. Ping, girl, if you don't sit in this sedan, then you won't be able to sit in it. But mother, this is too dangerous. Zhao Ping muttered. Looking at the broken sedan, she didn't want to sit in it anymore, afraid that she would fall again if she sat in it. In the end, her life was still more important. She couldn't treat it as a joke. Mother. You said that you came to pick up the bride, why didn't you spend money and rent a better sedan? Zhao Ping continued to complain. Mu Chunfang suddenly didn't know what to say. Her family was poor, so she would save money wherever she could. He even borrowed a broken shell from someone and stuffed 2 eggs into it. Wasn't that just a waste of time? If you were to rent a good palanquin, it would cost at least a few hundred copper coins. There was no need to waste money, so they naturally wouldn't waste it. Moreover, he felt that although the palanquin was a little broken, who would have thought that it would be so broken after being used so carelessly? When Qin Yuan heard Zhao Ping's ridicule, he walked over unhappily and said to Zhao Ping, if you don't want to sit here, then don't sit here. Otherwise, you can leave by yourself. Otherwise, don't come to my house. Today's wedding is cancelled. Hearing Qin Yuan's angry words, Zhao Ping was stunned. Big brother Yuan. Do you really think you're the daughter of a rich family? It's already good enough that there's a sedan to pick you up, yet you're still nagging about it. The corners of Zhao Ping's mouth twitched. She knew that Qin Yuan was angry. Hence, she hurriedly said, Big brother Yuan, I'll sit here, all right. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Qin Yuan snorted softly. Mu Chunfang hurriedly said to Qin Yuan, today is a joyous day. Don't be angry. Don't make a fuss. We've wronged Ping. It's our fault. Don't be so fierce. It's fine now. Let's go. Only then did Qin Yuan's stiff face soften a little. He continued to snort softly and didn't want to bother with Zhao Ping anymore. This was probably the first time he had ever felt so stifled after marrying a wife. Mu Chunfang hurriedly pulled Zhao Ping and said, Ping come. Mother will help you in. It's tight now. Don't fall out again. Zhao Ping nodded. She didn't want to fall out either. The quality was too poor. Could she be blamed? Chapter 1042. When Zhao Ping sat in the sedan chair again, she followed Mu Chunfang's instructions and held the sedan chair's door tightly, afraid that she would fall out. Let's go, let's go. Mu Chunfang shouted again and called out to the men who were carrying the sedan chair. After the sedan chair was lifted again, Zhao Ping said to Liang Jinqiao and Zhao Wenhua, In-laws, we've taken Ping away. Don't worry, we'll definitely treat Ping well. You can go now. Zhang Wenhua replied. Seeing that his daughter was taken away, Zhao Wenhua was also sad and reluctant to part with her. After all, once she got married, she would be part of someone else's family, and it would be different from his own family. After Mu Chunfang, Zhao Wenhua, and Liang Jinqiao finished greeting each other, he pulled Qin Yuan and said, Yuan, don't just stand there. Let's go. Okay. Qin Yuan responded reluctantly. After Liang Jinfin took Qin Yuan away, old Zhao's family watched as the family Qin left. After the family Qin's people left, the courtyard began to talk again. Wu Zhenju walked in front of Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao and said to Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao, Sister, brother-in-law, your in-laws are not very good. You actually used such a shabby sedan chair to pick up the bride. Originally, you had dressed Ping up beautifully in hopes that she would get married in a grand manner. But now, this in-law's family has made such a shabby sedan chair. She's getting married in such a shabby manner. Liang Jinfin and Liang Jinqiao smiled embarrassedly and said, It's okay. Family Qin is poor, so we don't care about this. They couldn't possibly say that they cared, right? At the very least, he had to leave some face for himself. Wu Zhenju also smiled and said, "Elder sister, elder brother-in-law, you two are really generous. If my Yue married into such a family and became like this, I would definitely scold her. Our situation is different." Liang Jinqiao replied weakly. He really didn't want to continue talking about this topic. It was really embarrassing to talk about it. Guo Caixia smiled and said, "Second sister-in-law, you can't compare like this. Yue has found a good marriage. Not everyone can find such a good marriage like Yue." Speaking of this, Wu Zhenju was a little proud. Of course. My Yue is pretty and has a good life. That means she can find a rich husband. Elder sister-in-law, my Yue's marriage is almost set. Your Zier's marriage needs to be arranged quickly. Zier is not bad. Maybe she can find a good marriage like my Yue. Wu Zhenju was just saying it to show off. He didn't really want Liang Shizi to find a good marriage. If she found one, she would feel sad. Sisters-in-law were like this. No one could see the other doing well. Guo Caixia's expression didn't change. He smiled and replied, "Of course. But you still have to find a good marriage partner. Other than the qualifications, the character is also another. The main thing is that my Zier won't have to suffer hardships when she gets married. It's fine as long as he can take care of my Zier." Wu Zhenju snorted softly. He felt that Guo Caixia was really good at pretending. It was all because she hadn't found anyone rich yet that she said that. If she could really find a rich marriage partner, his sister-in-law would definitely show off in front of him. Now, he could only be envious of their Yue. Chapter 1043. Wu Zhenju said sarcastically to Guo Caixia. The two sisters-in-law instantly became unhappy. Liang Jinhui came out and said with a smile, "We were just talking about Ping. Why are the two of you talking now?" Liang Jinhui was worried that Wu Zhenju and Guo Caixia would quarrel again. It was fine if they quarreled in the Liang residence. After all, the door was closed and no one would know. However, they were in Zhao Yun's house now. There were so many people watching. If they quarreled, they would become a laughing stock. "Got it," Wu Zhenju responded. Zhao Wenhua sighed deeply and said to Wu Zhenju, "It's not that we don't want to choose our in-laws. It's just that Ping's qualifications are there. If she's like you, then we can choose carefully. Ping's looks are too shabby. It's good enough that a man is willing to marry her. What's there to be picky about?" After hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Wu Zhenju couldn't make fun of him even if he wanted to. Zhao Wenhua was telling the truth. It was good enough that Zhao Ping got married. What's there to be picky about? Brother-in-law, you're right. It's just that I don't know if Ping will suffer if she marries him, Wu Zhenju said again. Zhao Wenhua waved his hand. It's her business whether she'll suffer or not. Since Ping is willing to marry him, it's her decision. He has to be responsible for it. Wu Zhenju smiled embarrassedly. But Ping is so happy today. Of course she's willing. I can't wait to run to her house. Zhao Wenhua's expression stiffened. He felt very awkward when he thought about what Zhao Ping had done today. It wasn't just awkward. It was embarrassing. He couldn't think about these things anymore. Otherwise, he would lose face. Zhao Wenhua had no choice but to call out to the Liang family. Eldest brother, second brother, eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, go inside and rest. The banquet will start in the afternoon. When it came to serious matters, the topic immediately changed. Yes, brother-in-law is right. Let's quickly sit down and wait for the banquet to start. Okay. After entertaining the Liang family, Zhao Wenhua caught up with Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianan went to the other houses in the village to prepare the tables and chairs for the banquet. And they didn't seem to have any intention of helping. Of course, they treated themselves as guests, there was no reason for them. Which was why they acted. Of course, Zhao Yunlong did not count on these people at all. After all, he knew the Liang family's character. They might be unreliable. After a while, Zhao Wenhua brought Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianhu back with the tables and chairs. The family continued to get busy. Zhao Yun, Liang Jinxiao, Mulan, Mu Hin, and old Madame Chen were busy in the kitchen. This banquet was very important, because the people of the third branch worked very hard. If the banquet was done well, the third branch's face would look much better. They had to do it well. Because Zhao Yun was busy, there was a burst of fragrance coming from the kitchen. The people in the courtyard swallowed their saliva. What did old Zhao's third branch do? Why is it so fragrant? I've never seen a banquet with such a fragrant smell. Yes, I want to eat just by smelling it. My stomach is growling. Chapter 1044. Who's the chef today? It smells so good. Did they specially invite a chef from the town? I don't know. Maybe so. The smell is too strong. It's too tempting. I wasn't hungry at first, but I'm starting to feel hungry after smelling it. Yeah, I don't know when we can start eating. I can't wait anymore. Me too, me too. I want to eat. Let's wait a little longer. It should take a while at the beginning. It's not time yet. We shouldn't have come to join in the fun. The smell is so tempting. Our hearts itch when we can't eat it. Isn't that so? Why don't we go back first and come back when the banquet starts? Otherwise, we won't be able to stand the smell. Forget it, let's wait. If we go back now, we'll have to come back later. It's too troublesome. Alright then, let's go out and start the banquet earlier. The people who came to join in the fun happened to have nothing to do, so they chatted one after another. They were all curious about what they could eat for lunch. Although they hadn't seen it yet, they guessed that it must be something delicious when they smelled the aroma. This time, they truly felt the change in the third branch's life. Not to mention Zhao Pinger's wedding dress, the most important thing was to prepare the dishes and let everyone eat and drink to their heart's content. The people in the countryside were particular about face. Generally, people would feel proud when they entertained guests at banquets. There was no doubt that the third branch was successful this time. By 11 a.m., the stools were neatly arranged, and the people who were supposed to come had basically arrived. Zhao Wenhua had been busy because he had to arrange for the guests to sit down. Zhao Yunlong divided the tables among the people who came. Basically, men sat together with men, and women sat together with women. Because men could drink together, it wasn't so convenient for men and women to sit at the same table. However, the people who came to drink were mostly men. Out of the 10 tables, 8 were occupied by men, and 2 were occupied by women. After all, in the countryside, women didn't have much status in the family. Good things like going out to drink naturally fell to the men. Unless there were no men at home or the men had something to do, they would let the women go out to drink. The original plan was to have 10 tables, so there should be enough seats. However, with so many people from the Liang family coming at once, the 10 tables could not fit them all. Looking at this situation, Zhao Yunlong was very embarrassed, but more than that, he was anxious. I don't think there's enough space. What should I do? Zhao Wenhua muttered. He thought that if the Liang family did not take a seat, then it could be arranged. Father, can't you sit down? Zhao Yunhe walked in front of Zhao Wenhua and asked. Zhao Yunlong sighed slightly, nodded, and replied. Father, if you can't sit, then tell eldest aunt, and second aunt not to sit. Men can go to the table, why do women need to go to the table? Xiao Yun said directly. Xiao Wenhua frowned, looking very conflicted. Yuner. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know what to say. After all, Xiao Wenhua cared about his face, so it was not good for him to say such things. Xiao Yun saw that her father was timid in a place where he shouldn't be timid. Chapter 1045. After Xiao Yun finished speaking with Xiao Wenhua, she went straight to the Liang family and explained the situation. Xiao Yun was very direct and did not care about her reputation at all. She used a commanding tone and did not allow the women from the Liang family to sit. Liang Jinfen was the first to be unhappy. He jumped out and said to Xiao Yun, I say, Yun, girl, can you get another table for us to eat at? Xiao Yun did not expect Liang Jinfen to be so thick-skinned and say such things. She snorted and said, Second aunt, my family had planned to set up 10 tables for the banquet, but we did not expect so many of you to come. We only prepared 10 tables, so we can't prepare another table. Yun, girl, then we won't have anything to eat. That won't do. There are so many of us, how can we not have anything to eat? You have to think of a way to arrange a table for us, Liang Jinfen said anxiously. That's right, Ping, girl. If we don't go to the table, what are we going to eat? Wu Zhenju followed Liang Jinfen and agreed. Xiao Yun rolled her eyes. She really did not want to talk about this topic with them. Was she the one who asked so many of them to come? They came one by one to freeload on food and drink. She did not know where they got the face from. It was fine that they came, but who did they think they were? They clearly knew that there were not enough seats, but they still wanted to sit at the table. Second aunt, then what do you think we should do? Don't tell me that we should arrange for you to sit at the table and chase the others away. Xiao Yun sneered and her tone was full of sarcasm. We did not say that we would definitely sit at the table, but you have to let us arrange it, right? We can't just sit there and watch the people outside eat without eating, right? Liang Jinfen did not give up and replied. Xiao Yun smiled and said to Liang Jinfen, I didn't say that you can't eat. When my family's banquet is done and there are leftovers, you can bring them over to eat. You have to arrange it for the guests first. How can we do that? Wu Zhenju quickly refused. How can we eat leftovers? Yun, her girl, how are you going to arrange this? We are your elders. If you don't welcome us, you can just say so. You don't have to use this method to disgust us, right? Xiao Yun looked at them coldly. How interesting. So they knew it. If that's the case, then why did they purposely come over? Weren't they deliberately trying to take advantage of her? Now, they admitted it. Xiao Yun only thought it was funny. Is this arrangement? Don't tell me that we have to entertain you first and then entertain the guests. Wouldn't that be embarrassing our family? Those who don't know might think that we are unwilling to let the guests eat. You girl, Liang Jinshan and Wu Zhenju were about to argue with Xiao Yun when old Madame Liang stood up and mediated. All right. Stop arguing. Isn't there no other way? Yun, a girl's words are not without reason. It's fine as long as we can eat. Why do we have to pick so much? After all, we didn't inform Yun before we came. That's why Yun's mother didn't prepare in advance. Xiao Yun looked at old Madame Liang again. Although this old lady was a little old, her eyes were very clear and bright, and she was also very bright. What she said was reasonable. Unlike the other people in the Liang family, Xiao Yun had a much better impression of old Madame Liang. Chapter 1046. Xiao Yun took another look at old Madame Liang and had a good impression of her. Guicaixia also agreed, that's right, let's just eat casually. We don't have a choice, right? Let's not cause trouble for eldest sister's family. It's a joyous occasion today, and eldest sister's family is busy enough. Wu Zhenju glanced at Guicaixia. This sister-in-law of hers was really good at pretending to be a good person. Her words were really pleasant to hear. Although Wu Zhenju had opinions in his heart, it was not good for him to express them. Because old Madame Liang had already spoken up, what else could she say? If she said too much, it would probably make old Madame Liang unhappy. At that time, old Madame Liang would think that she did not know the rules as well as her sister-in-law. Naturally, she would be biased towards the first branch. Now that the Liang family's money was in old Madame Liang's hands, Wu Zhenju did not know how much money old Madame Liang had in her hands. Now that the Fen family was not involved, he definitely could not offend old Madame Liang. Thus, Wu Zhenju smiled and said, yes, yes, yes. Mother, you're right. Let's not eat at the table. Let's just eat casually. If there's any leftover meat later, you have to bring it over for us. The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. This second aunt of hers was really not embarrassed to say anything. Got it. Hee, you can go out and do your work. The few of us will wait in the room. Wu Zhenju pretended to be considerate and said this. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Just as she was about to go out, she pulled Liang Jinyu and said, Aunt, don't stand in the room. Go out and sit outside to eat. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yun with some confusion. Yun didn't you say that there aren't enough seats outside? You can go and let others sit. I'll just stay in the room. Liang Jinyu was different from the rest of the Liang family. She was genuinely concerned about Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun smiled and said, It's okay, Auntie. There's only one person from your family here. There's enough seats for you. I see. Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. At this time, Liang Jinfen came over and said to Liang Jinyu, Little sister, if you don't want to go out and do it, then let me go out. I'll take your place at the table. Liang Jinfen thought that eating at the table was better than hiding in the house and eating leftovers. Since there was a seat for Liang Jinyu, she could sit there and eat. Liang Jinfen shamelessly suggested it herself, so Liang Jinyu couldn't refuse. After all, she was her second sister. Zhao Yun was unhappy. How could they bully people like this? Second aunt, the seat should be taken by youngest aunt. What's the reason for you to replace it? Yun, your youngest aunt hasn't said anything yet. Why do you care so much? This is my house. Of course, I care. Zhao Yun couldn't be bothered to talk to Liang Jinfen. She directly pulled Liang Jinyu out. After arranging for Liang Jinyu to sit at the table, Zhao Yun reminded Liang Jinyu, youngest aunt, don't let them sit. After all, you brought the gift money over. Youngest uncle hasn't come yet. If you don't come to the table today, my father and mother will have to go to your house to return the gift. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Liang Jinyu didn't want Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxia to go to her house to return the gift. She could only nod and agree. Okay, Yun, I know. I'll eat at the table myself. I won't let anyone else eat. Chapter 1047. After solving the problem of not having enough seats, Zhao Yun turned around and entered the kitchen to continue working. After settling the guests down, Zhao Wenhua went to the courtyard to set off a string of firecrackers, because the banquet had begun. Piping hot and fragrant dishes were served from the kitchen. The freshly cooked dishes were placed on the table. When the guests tasted Zhao Yun's cooking, they were all praising how delicious it was. It wasn't that they hadn't eaten banquets before. Some banquets were even prepared by the chefs of the restaurants. However, they felt that the dishes made by the chefs were not as good as Zhao Yun's dishes. It's so delicious. Yes, it's delicious, too delicious. I've eaten so many banquets, but this is the first time I've eaten such good food. Isn't that so? But who is the one who cooked this dish? Speaking of this question, all of them looked at Zhao Wenhua. Brother Wenhua, which restaurant's chef did your family invite for today's banquet? Yes, tell me. When my family holds a banquet later, I'll invite him back too. How much do we have to pay the chef for this banquet? Is it a few hundred copper coins? Or a few taels of silver? I think it's a few taels of silver. I've eaten the dishes made by a chef before. I heard that he was paid 2 taels of silver a day, but it's not as good as the dishes made by Brother Wenhua's family today. Everyone at the dining table began to interrogate Zhao Wenhua. Usually, when the villagers held banquets, other than the ones made by their own family, those who had a little bit of money would go to the town to find a chef to cook. However, if they invited a chef back, the salary for a day's work was not small. The cheaper ones were a few hundred copper coins, and the more expensive ones were a few taels of silver. Looking at the dishes made by Zhao Yun's family, it should be worth a few taels of silver. If that was really the case, then it could only be said that Zhao Yun's family was too rich. They were so rich that they could invite such an expensive chef back. How could an ordinary villager have the money to do so? In the face of these people's interrogation, Zhao Wenhua smiled. My family didn't invite a chef back. It was my second daughter, Yun who made it. When Zhao Wenhua mentioned Zhao Yun he couldn't hide the smile on his face, and there was a bit of pride in his tone. After all, Zhao Yun's dishes today were unanimously praised by everyone at the dinner table, which made him feel very proud. When they heard Zhao Wenhua said that it was made by Zhao Yun, they were slightly surprised. It was actually made by Yun's. That's right, Yun's skills are so good. That's right, it's even better than the food cooked by the chefs in the restaurant. That's why the heir took a fancy to her. I think Yun must have her own unusual aspects. Now that I look at it, it is indeed so. Just based on her cooking skills, in our village, no, in our town, we might not be able to find someone who can cook better than Yun. Yun's skills can directly be a chef. These people, one after another, praised Zhao Yun to the sky. Other than those who sincerely thought that Zhao Yun was amazing, there were also those who flattered Zhao Wenhua to make him happy and get close to Zhao Wenhua. Chapter 1048. Now that Zhao Yun's family was not only rich, but they also had Mu Lianfeng as their backer. Ordinary people would not dare to offend them. Zhao Wenhua laughed heartily upon hearing these people's words. He was in a very good mood. You're flattering me, you're flattering me. My Yun only made some home-cooked dishes. It just so happens that you guys like them. Since everyone thinks it's delicious, eat more. As he spoke, Zhao Wenhua also greeted the people at the other tables. In addition to good dishes, there was also good wine today. The men drank wine and ate at the same time. They were very comfortable. Brother Wenhua, we're not flattering you. Yun's cooking is so delicious. When I hold a banquet later, I wonder if I can invite Yun over to be my chef. When the time comes, I can pay Yun. Someone suggested at this time. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, I can't make that decision. I have to ask Yun. Yun has to be willing to go. Of course. I have to ask for Yun's opinion. Yes. The dining table was very lively, but the kitchen was getting busier. Dishes were constantly being cooked and served. Other than Zhao Yun, who was very busy, Zhao Tianhu and Zhao Tianan did not rest either. They were constantly running back and forth. It was indeed difficult to serve a 10-table banquet. They had to serve the new dishes and take back the plates that they had finished eating. This was considered physical work. Fortunately, the two of them were strong young men. Although they were a little tired when they were busy, they were not so tired that they could not move. Seeing Zhao Tianan constantly busy, Muhin felt a little distressed. While waiting for the dishes to be served, Muhin walked up to Zhao Tianan, took out her handkerchief, and wiped Zhao Tianan's head. She said to Zhao Tianan, "Tianan, let me wipe your sweat. You're sweating a lot." Zhao Tianan met Muhin's eyes and did not refuse. After Muhin finished wiping, he said to Muhin, "Muhin, thank you." Muhin lowered her head shyly. "You're welcome." Zhao Tianan smiled, revealing a little white teeth. His canine teeth were even more adorable. Mu Axian took some leftovers from the side. They weren't leftovers from others, but leftovers that hadn't been served yet. She took a small bowl and prepared to feed Tianan. "Tianan, you've been busy for so long and you haven't eaten anything. Eat a little now, or else you'll starve. It'll take more energy to serve the dishes later." Zhao Tianan glanced at Muhin again, thought for a moment, and nodded. "Okay, I'll eat some first." Okay. Muhin said, and put a spoonful into Zhao Tianan's mouth. Zhao Tianhu watched from the side, feeling very envious. Zhao Tianan had people who cared about him, loved him, and cared for him, but he had none. He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. Why did Zhao Tianan have girls who cared about him, but he did not? He was obviously older than Zhao Tianan. If Zhao Tianan was married, but he, as his cousin, did not, how embarrassing would that be? Sigh. Zhao Tianhu sighed softly. Zhao Yun heard this and asked, "Second cousin, what's wrong with you? Why are you sighing? Are you tired? If you're tired, you can rest for a while." Zhao Tianhu smiled and waved his hand. No. I'm tired." Then Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Tianhu curiously. Chapter 1049. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows curiously. "What's wrong with Tianan? Tianan is so lucky. There are other girls who care for him, and you're feeding him food, but I don't." After saying that, Zhao Tianhu pursed his lips, feeling a little wronged and frustrated. Zhao Yun giggled. She thought that her second cousin was really funny and had a lot of fun talking. When Zhao Tianan heard Zhao Tianhu's words, he blushed slightly and didn't dare to take the food that Muhin handed over. Muhin also stood at the side shyly. "I say, second cousin, do you also want a woman to care for you and love you? Isn't the one you went on a blind date with pretty good? If you marry her, you'll be able to enjoy life like Tianan." Zhao Yun joked. She wondered if all men were the same. Once they reached a certain age, they would want to marry and have a woman to accompany and take care of them. Even if I wanted to marry her, I might not be able to. Maybe she doesn't like me. I'm not as lucky as Tianan. Zhao Tianhu mumbled. Zhao Yun patted Zhao Tianhu's shoulder and comforted him. "Second cousin, don't think too badly. You have good qualities, so why wouldn't she like you? Don't worry, I think it'll work." After being comforted by Zhao Yun Zhao Tianhu's mood improved a lot. "Little sister Yun you really think highly of me. With your words, I feel much more at ease. I'm just telling the truth. Come, second cousin, there aren't any other girls to feed you. Let me feed you." As Zhao Yun spoke, she brought some food over and handed it to Zhao Tianhu's mouth. Zhao Tianhu's face reddened slightly. Little sister Yun, This is okay. Zhao Tianhu was a little shy, and both sides of his face turned red. What's wrong with that? Come, let's eat. Unable to resist Zhao Yun's enthusiasm, Zhao Tianhu finally ate it. Thank you, little sister Yun. You're welcome, second cousin. Just wait until you get married in the future. Zhao Tianhu responded. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, his heart became more and more expectant. If he could have a wife, what kind of feeling would it be? Wouldn't it be wonderful? While Zhao Yun was busy, on the other side, the family Qin people carried Zhao Ping back home. Along the way, Qin Yuan's face was dark and sullen. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping angry. This woman only knew how to embarrass him. She thought about how Zhao Ping was dressed. Qin Yuan was even more furious. She was such an ugly woman. Later, he would have to go through the wedding ceremony with her. Did he do something bad in his previous life? Did he kill a lot of people? Was that why God treated him like this? Just as he was deep in thought, there was a sudden loud noise. The whole sedan chair collapsed. Zhao Ping sat on the ground and cried out in pain. Ouch, what's going on? Why did the sedan chair collapse? Mu Chunfang asked anxiously. The two men carrying the sedan chair were helpless. We don't know. It collapsed while we were carrying it. It's probably because the sedan chair was too old and couldn't bear the weight. Didn't we say before we came that the sedan chair might not be able to hold it? See, we were right, weren't we? It's not my fault that the sedan chair is broken. Chapter 1050. If she had known that this would happen, she would not have used such a broken sedan. Unfortunately, it was useless to regret now. She had already used it. What else could she do? Mu Chunfang said to the men carrying the sedan, Don't blame you, don't blame you. Who said that I blame you? It's good that you don't blame us. We were just greeting you. This really has nothing to do with us. I know. Mu Chunfang responded, her heart aching for the sedan. Zhao Ping lay on the ground and wanted to continue crying out in pain. Mother, it hurts so much. Mother Mu Chunfang did not have the mind to care about Zhao Ping. She said to Zhao Ping, Little Ping, get up yourself. Mother, I can't get up. The sedan is ruined. Mother, you shouldn't have come with such a frame. If I had known, I wouldn't have sat there. My butt is bleeding from the fall. Mu Chunfang could not be bothered with Zhao Ping's ridicule. She was only concerned about what to do with the sedan. She was afraid that they would have to pay for it if they ruined the sedan. Although it was already broken enough and they could not be blamed for it being ruined, what could she do if they insisted on it? Qin Yuan walked to Zhao Ping and pulled Zhao Ping up from the ground. Isn't it all because of you? It must be because you are so heavy that you crushed the sedan. Faced with Qin Yuan's fierce reprimand, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and felt very wronged. Big brother Yuan, just as she was about to say something, she was interrupted by Qin Yuan's cold voice. Enough. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping felt even more wronged. Big brother Yuan, I also didn't want to ruin the frame. You can't blame me for this. Enough. Don't say any more. I don't want to hear you say so much. If you want to get married, get up yourself and walk. There's no sedan to carry you now. Oh. Zhao Ping replied weakly. What could she do now? In order to be with Qin Yuan, she had no choice but to get up and walk. Qin Yuan did not have any intention of showing mercy. He pulled Mu Chunfang and continued to rush forward. Mother, let's go back quickly. Don't waste too much time. Mu Chunfang glanced at Zhao Ping, and said to Qin Yuan, there's no need to rush, right? Should we wait for Ping, Qin Yuan replied unhappily, what are you waiting for? There was no need to wait. Let her go by herself. You're already so old, yet you can't even keep up with us. Sigh. When Mu Chunfang saw Qian Yan's dark expression, he didn't dare to say anything. He was afraid that he would make the Qin Yuan unhappy. She only called out to Zhao Pinger, hurry up and catch up. Zhao Ping endured the pain in her butt and got up from the ground. She limped along. As she followed, she even called out to Qin Yuan and Mu Chunhua, Big Brother Yuan, Mother, can you guys walk slower and wait for me for a while? Big Brother Yuan, no matter how Zhao Ping called out, Qin Yuan did not have any intention of responding to Zhao Ping When they were about to reach the village, Qin Yuan walked in front of Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Ping, hurry up and cover your head with the veil. Don't let others see your ugly appearance. Zhao Ping could only respond and cover her head with the red veil according to Qin Yuan's instructions. Chapter 1051. Now that they were in the village, they had to maintain some dignity. Their family Qin didn't want to make a fool of themselves. After supporting Zhao Ping, they slowly entered the village. When the villagers saw Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan coming over, they began to shout. The bride and groom are here. The bride is here, the bride is here. Ah, she's finally back. The bride looks so beautiful in her clothes. She must be very beautiful too. Yes, the groom is so lucky. I didn't expect Qin Yuan to be able to marry a wife. His wife's clothes are not bad. He's really lucky. After these people chattered, Qin Yuan heard them and his face darkened even more. He couldn't help it even if he didn't want to. After all, he was really angry. Everyone was ridiculing him and looking down on him. It was too much. Fortunately, they didn't know what Zhao Ping looked like. If they knew what Zhao Ping looked like, it would be terrible. He didn't know what to say. However, since Zhao Ping had married into the village, Zhao Ping's appearance would be seen by the villagers one day. At the thought of this, Qin Yuan was very angry and frustrated. Why? Why was he so pitiful? He was very upset. He glanced at Zhao Ping and wanted to vent his anger on Zhao Ping Obviously, now was not the time. With a sullen face, Qin Yuan took Zhao Ping back to the family Qin. When they returned to the family Qin, many people gathered in the family Qin to join in the fun. No matter how unhappy Qin Yuan was, in the end, he still bowed to heaven and earth with Zhao Ping After that, he responded to the guests coming and going. After all, it was his wedding day, so he drank a lot of wine. After Zhao Ping was sent to the family Qin, she was left alone in the wedding room. No one paid attention to her. Zhao Ping was also very helpless. The family Qin people were all dealing with the guests and didn't have time to pay attention to her. However, Zhao Pinger hadn't eaten anything to begin with, and after walking for such a long time, her stomach was starving. She began to grumble. Zhao Ping shouted outside the house for a while, but no one paid her any attention. After waiting for Mu Chunfang to enter the house, Zhao Ping said to Mu Chunfang, Mother, I'm hungry. Mu Chunfang said indifferently, It's okay, Ping, girl. When we girls get married, it's always like this. You can't eat. Bear with it. In front of Mu Chunfang, Zhao Ping didn't dare to be as willful as she was in front of Liang Jinxiao. If she was in front of Liang Jinxiao, she would probably be crying for food. Zhao Ping suddenly remembered that before she left, Liang Jinchao persuaded her to eat. In the end, she refused and didn't eat. Now, there was only regret. Why couldn't she be more obedient and eat? But mother. I'm hungry, so hungry. I'm so hungry that my stomach is hurting. Zhao Ping whined pitifully. However, to Zhao Ping's disappointment, Mu Chunfang didn't pay any attention to her and didn't feel sorry for her. Ping, girl, there are still a lot of things to be done outside. Mother is going out to work. You stay in the house and don't wander around, okay? After Mu Chunfang finished speaking, he directly went out of the house. Chapter 1052. At night, Qin Yuan was a drunken mess. Seeing that Qin Yuan was so drunk that he was unconscious, Mu Chunfang and Qin Dashan hurriedly dragged Qin Yuan into the room. The bridal chamber had to be consummated. Their family Qin did not have any grandchildren yet, and they were already old. People of their age in the village would have had grandchildren long ago. If something happened between Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping, although Qin Yuan would be wronged, if Zhao Ping could get pregnant, it would be a joyous occasion. Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang struggled for a while before they finally got Qin Yuan onto the wedding bed. Looking at the unconscious Qin Yuan, Mu Chunfang chuckled and said to Zhao Ping, Ping, Yuan, is drunk. Hurry and serve him well. The two of you should sleep in the bridal chamber as soon as possible. Mu Chunfang specifically emphasized the word bridal chamber. Zhao Ping was not a fool. She naturally knew what Mu Chunfang meant by the word bridal chamber. She replied shyly, Mother, I know, all right, then you two should rest. Father and mother won't disturb you anymore. Zhao Ping nodded heavily. She could not suppress the excitement in her heart. Looking at Qin Yuan's face, she was even more excited. Today, she really got her wish and got married to Qin Yuan. She had become a distant daughter-in-law. She did not dare to believe it when she said it. This period of time really passed quickly. It was over in a short while. What she had been hoping for was now a reality. Zhao Ping thought about the bridal chamber with Qin Yuan again, and her face flushed. Bridal chamber. They were really going to have a bridal chamber. After waiting for Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang to leave, Zhao Ping was like a hungry wolf. She could not wait to devour Qin Yuan. She could not help it. She really liked Qin Yuan too much. Once she thought about doing it with Qin Yuan, she could not suppress the restlessness in her heart. But now that Qin Yuan was unconscious, she did not know if he still had the ability to do it. After Qin Yuan was drunk, he felt very uncomfortable and could not help but want to vomit. Zhao Ping hurriedly asked Qin Yuan with concern, Brother Yuan, what's wrong? Brother Yuan, are you okay? Brother. Qin Yuan simply couldn't be bothered with Zhao Pinger. Hearing Zhao Pinger's voice, his brows tightly knit together. Don't care about me, get lost. Why would Zhao Pinger leave? Instead, she stuck to him even more. Brother Yuan, what's wrong with you? If you have something to say, just tell me. If you feel uncomfortable, I'll get you some water. I don't feel uncomfortable. I'm fine. Just don't come near me. Although Qin Yuan's eyes were not open, his tone was still full of disdain. Brother Yuan. You're my husband now. How can I not go near you? Brother Yuan. If you're fine, let's go to the bridal chamber. As she spoke, Zhao Ping began to tug Qin Yuan's clothes impatiently. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. Don't touch me, Zhao Ping. You ugly woman. Try touching me again. Qin Yuan said angrily. Seeing Qin Yuan like this, Zhao Ping guessed that she would not be able to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan tonight. But when she thought of not being able to consummate their marriage, Zhao Ping felt very indignant. Chapter 1053. If she did not consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan, then even if she married Qin Yuan, it would be in name only. She did not want that to happen. Therefore, no matter what, she had to consummate her marriage with Qin Yuan. Big brother Yuan, since I'm married to you, I'm your wife. Which man won't let his woman touch him? Zhao Ping grumbled in Qin Yuan's ear, feeling very wronged. Ugly woman, don't even think about touching me. Let me tell you, I won't fancy an ugly woman like you. Just give up. Qin Yuan shouted. Although Qin Yuan was quite drunk, he still had a little bit of consciousness. He knew that the person in front of him was Zhao Ping. Once he thought of Zhao Ping, he felt very disgusted in his heart. However, because he drank too much, his eyelids were very heavy when he wanted to open his eyes. He could not open them even if he used all his strength. Big brother Yuan. Boo-hoo, when Zhao Ping heard Qin Yuan's words, she could not help but choke with sobs. Why did he have to treat her like this? He was too much. These words were not enough to completely hurt Zhao Ping's heart. The main thing was that Qin Yuan shouted a few times after that. Youngest aunt. Youngest aunt. Hui. Zhao Ping was not a fool. She naturally knew who Qin Yuan was shouting for. It was her youngest aunt, Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping gritted her teeth in hatred. Her big brother Yuan was indeed still thinking about her youngest aunt in his heart. Just thinking about it made Zhao Ping angry. He could have liked anyone, but he just had to like her youngest aunt. Big brother Yuan. I'm your wife. You can't think of another woman in your heart. Zhao Ping muttered. Looking at Qin Yuan like this, even if she wanted to listen to him, he would not be able to hear her. Forget about consummating their marriage. No, she could not just let it go like this. Zhao Ping suddenly thought of the things she had prepared before, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly, forming a smile. Fortunately, she was very quick-witted. After listening to Ma Xiaofeng's words, she prepared the things. Otherwise, he really didn't know what to do with tonight's situation. Zhao Ping took out a small bag from the dowry she brought. Zhao Ping took out a stick of incense. Once the incense was lit, the smoke it produced had an aphrodisiac effect, similar to an aphrodisiac. Zhao Ping quickly took out a match, lit the incense, and placed it in the room. Not long after, smoke filled the entire room. Zhao Ping smelled the fragrance and felt her whole body start to heat up. Then, she had a very strong desire. Qin Yuan, who was lying on the bed, smelled the incense and his body began to heat up. Zhao Ping went in front of Qin Yuan and muttered beside Qin Yuan's ear, Big brother Yuan, I'm so hot. I'm so hot. Help me. Big brother Yuan, Zhao Ping's voice was gentle and very seductive. Qin Yuan's situation was similar to Zhao Ping's. His body was very hot. After Qin Yuan felt that his body was hot, he started to take off his clothes piece by piece. Until he took off all the clothes on his body, he still felt abnormally hot. Zhao Ping had long been attracted by Qin Yuan's naked body. His eyes were fixed on Qin Yuan's body, looking back and forth. Previously, she had not even seen Qin Yuan's shirtless appearance, let alone taking off all his clothes. The more Zhao Ping looked, the hotter her body became. She could not help but lick the corners of her mouth. Big brother Yuan. Chapter 1054. Then, she impatiently took off her clothes. She wished she could strip herself naked and stick to Qin Yuan. After taking off all her clothes, Zhao Ping started to rub against Qin Yuan's body again. Big brother Yuan, I can't take it anymore. Hurry up and help me, big brother Yuan. As Zhao Ping spoke, she hugged Qin Yuan and started kissing him. Qin Yuan drank a lot of wine and was also affected by the burning passion incense. He was already delirious and did not have any self-awareness. He only felt that his body was burning up and desperately wanted to find something to vent. Coincidentally, Zhao Ping wrapped herself around his body and stuck her tongue into his mouth. Qin Yuan felt that something on his body was being aroused. He immediately pulled Zhao Ping over and pressed her under his body. Then, he started nibbling on Zhao Ping's body. Zhao Ping was pleasured by Qin Yuan and cried out for the entire night. She worked very hard. Because she knew that the man who was riding on her body and plowing her with all his might was the man she loved. While Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan were doing it in another room, Qin Dashan and Mu Chunfang were already overjoyed. They were originally worried that their son could not make it. Now, it seemed that there was no need to worry. The family Qin's room was poor, so it was not soundproof. They could hear Zhao Ping's cries more clearly. Looking at the situation, Qin Yuan had a lot of fun tonight. If they could do this every day, Zhao Ping would probably be able to get pregnant soon. When Zhao Ping was pregnant, they would naturally be able to carry her. Mu Chunfang leaned on Qin Dashan and praised him. Yuan-er's father, you're still the best. You said that drunken sex is messed up, so this is the best time to send it over. As expected, look at our family's Yuan, he's really working hard. However, it was understandable that this was his first time. He was young and impetuous, and this was his first time cheating on her. They're all like this. Qin Dashan smiled and said, of course, the old saying is right. But Yuan, that child, looks soft and weak. I didn't expect him to be quite good in this aspect. He's comparable to me when I was young. Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Dashan shyly and said, that's enough. Don't be so smug. Aren't you ashamed? Qin Dashan smiled. What are you shy about? Why are you being so serious in front of your wife? Shameless. Mu Chunfang glared at Qin Dashan, embarrassed and annoyed. Qin Dashan smiled wretchedly. I say, Yuan-er's mother, how long has it been since the two of us did that? Mu Chunfang replied shyly, it's been so long, who would remember? Then, Yuan-er's mother, look at how hard Yuan, and Ping, are moaning. It makes one's heart itch to hear it. Yuan-er's mother, do the two of us want to do it once too? After Qin Dashan finished speaking, he started to move closer to Mu Chunfang. Mu Chunfang glared at Qin Dashan. You're already so old. What are you still doing? Aren't you afraid that you'll break your own bones? Qin Dashan couldn't hold himself back. Yuan-er's mother, it's not like we do it often. Just once. Just once will do. Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Dashan with some resentment. You old thing. In the past, when I wanted to do it, you wouldn't do it no matter how I called you. Chapter 1055. So you also know that it's your fault. Yes. Of course, I know. Yuan-er's mother, don't worry. I won't do that again. You can order me around as much as you want in the future. Mu Chunfang then nodded in agreement. Actually, she didn't intend to refuse from the start. She just nagged at Qin Dashan. Qin Dashan pounced on her like a hungry wolf. Thus, there was another woman's cry in the family Qin room. After the banquet was set up in Zhao Yun's house, the guests who came to eat then gradually dispersed. The members of the Liang family sat in the third branch's room and ate. They ate happily. There were quite a lot of dishes prepared for the banquet, so after the banquet, there were quite a lot of dishes left in Zhao Yun's house. Especially some meat dishes. Zhao Yun still prepared too much meat. They ate a lot without a table, so there was still a lot left. After Mulan and Mu Hin were done with their work, Zhao Ping asked them to bring back a lot of vegetables. They were all picked out and brought back. There was also old Madam Qin. Because she asked them to come over to help, she naturally prepared a lot of good food for him to bring back. The Liang family members who were full were a little reluctant to leave. They had never eaten such things on a normal day. Zhao Yun originally thought that the relatives who had eaten would leave. She didn't expect that these people's skin was much thicker than she thought, especially Liang Jinfin. After Liang Jinfin finished eating, he strolled into Zhao Yun's kitchen and looked at the leftover dishes. She didn't know what he was looking at. Zhao Ping thought that Liang Jinfin was planning to steal her family's vegetables, so she walked into the kitchen and asked Liang Jinfin, "Second aunt, what are you doing?" When Liang Jinchao saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, he smiled embarrassedly and said, "Yun'er, hee. Actually, I just want to see how many dishes are left in your kitchen from the banquet." Now that he looked at it, he felt that there were quite a lot of leftovers. There are also many good dishes. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. She hated Liang Jinfin's scheming eyes. "So be it. This is my family's business. Second aunt, this is not something your family should worry about." Liang Jinfin continued to smile awkwardly. "Yun'er, what are you saying?" "Second aunt, you can't just say it." Zhao Yun'er sneered. Her second aunt really knew how to pretend. Her eyes were fixed on the dishes and she wanted to get some leftovers, but she was just saying it casually. Zhao Yun'er smirked and asked coldly, "Second aunt, are you really just saying it casually? Since you're done talking, hurry up and get out." Zhao Yun'er looked like she was chasing him away. Liang Jinfin immediately panicked. Why are you like this? How can you chase people away like this? Is this how you treat your second aunt? You're not filial at all." Liang Jinfin's nagging made Zhao Yun'er very annoyed. "Second aunt, are you leaving or not? If you don't, I don't mind kicking you out. You're acting like a thief. Also, don't flaunt your seniority all day long. Elder. Who has an elder like you? Being filial to you is what your daughter should do. It has nothing to do with me." Chapter 1056. Some people were just like that. They could not be persuaded and had to resort to violence. She had no one to blame but herself for embarrassing herself. After Liang Jinfin was kicked out, she fell heavily to the ground. She cried out in pain as her but was kicked. She fell to the ground and felt that her body was falling apart. She was in so much pain that she could not even crawl on the ground. Liang Jinfin did not expect Zhao Yun'er to attack her. This little b*tch. She really did not care about anything when she was provoked. At least she would not be so ruthless on account of her elders, right? "Wah, big sister!" Liang Jinfin yelled at the top of her lungs as she lay on the ground like a shrew. Liang Jinchao walked over with a frown and asked, "Second sister, what are you?" Liang Jinfin grabbed Liang Jinchao's hand and cried to Liang Jinchao. "Big sister, sob sob sob. Look at your good daughter. She kicked me out of the kitchen. Big sister, how can a junior hit an elder like this? What kind of upbringing is this? If word gets out, it will be a disgrace to you, big sister." Liang Jinfin's voice was very loud, which made the rest of the Liang family come out. Liang Jinfen did this because she wanted everyone to help her criticize Xiao Yun. With one more mouth and one more mouth, it could help her build momentum and pressure Liang Jinqiao together so that Liang Jinqiao would be able to entertain her. Liang Jinqiao frowned slightly. She looked at Liang Jinfen and then at Xiao Yun. She knew that Xiao Yun was not a reckless person. Liang Jinfen must have done something to upset Xiao Yun, so Liang Jinfen attacked her. Yuner, this. Liang Jinqiao's eyes were full of doubts. The Liang family came over. After hearing what Liang Jinfen said, they began to scold Xiao Yuner. What is this Yun girl doing? No matter what, she can't attack her elders like this, right? That's right. Yun didn't do that. She didn't respect her elders. If word got out, people would talk about it. You're already so old, why don't you know the rules? Let Yuner apologize to second younger sister. Yuner is in the wrong. That's right. Yun was in the wrong. Let Yun apologize to her second aunt. Eldest sister, you're Yuner's mother. What do you think about Yuner? The Liang family said one sentence after another. They were all scolding Xiao Yuner. Of course, he was gloating more than anything. Xiao Yuner made the Liang family's women unable to eat at the table today. Wu Zhenju held a grudge against her. Naturally, he took the opportunity to scold her. Liang Jinfen was even more proud when she saw that the Liang family was on her side. She thought that even if she didn't say anything, with the Liang family around, Xiao Yuner would definitely be forced to apologize to her. Thinking of this, she felt much better. Liang Jinfen planned that if Xiao Yuner apologized to her later, she wouldn't accept it so easily. She had to extort Xiao Yuner and ask Xiao Yuner to give her the leftovers. She had to give her some meat too. In addition to the leftovers, she had to give her some wedding candies and other things. Of course, these were all Liang Jinfen's thoughts. Xiao Yuner snorted. The Liang family was really interesting. They actually wanted her to apologize. They were dreaming. Chapter 1057. Xiao Yun stood up and snorted. Apologize? Why should I apologize? You're shamelessly staying in my kitchen and refusing to leave. Since I can't invite you out, I can only kick you out. Second aunt, tell me yourself, did I ask you to leave first? You little girl. I'm only staying in your kitchen for a while. Why did you kick me out? Liang Jinfen spat in dissatisfaction. That's right, Yun girl. Your second aunt is only staying for a while. Why did you kick her out? Why are you so petty? You're even treating your own family like this. That's right, you didn't even let us eat at the table. Wu Zhenju mocked even more. Xiao Yun stared coldly at the weirdo. It's fine for you to come into my kitchen, but it's not right for you to stare at the things in my kitchen. Who stared at your things? You lass, don't spout nonsense. Liang Jinfen couldn't keep her face as she angrily retorted. Is that so? Xiao Yun smiled. Liang Jinfen felt that he had been tricked by Xiao Yun. If he said yes, it would be difficult for him to ask for the leftovers later. Xiao Yun would even find an excuse to refuse. He might as well bring it up now and save himself the trouble of asking later. Big sister, I just wanted to see how many leftovers you have. When I came to the kitchen just now, I saw a lot of leftovers. Your family definitely can't finish it all. Why don't you bring some back for us? After Liang Jinfen finished speaking, Liang Jinqiao was stunned. Actually, it wasn't impossible to give some to Liang Jinfen, but judging from Xiao Yun's expression, she probably didn't want to give it to him. Second aunt, if I remember correctly, you said not long ago that you didn't want to eat leftovers. Why, now you want to eat leftovers? Xiao Yun asked with a smile. Liang Jinfen's expression was very ugly. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly as he defended himself. That's because I didn't know before. I just ate your leftovers and thought it was quite delicious. Anyway, you have so much at home that you can't finish it. Why don't you bring some back for us so that we can help you finish it? Don't you think so? When Xiao Yun heard this, she only found it laughable. Liang Jinfen was really thick-skinned to a certain extent. It was one thing for her to want the leftovers, but the main thing was that she acted as if it was a matter of course and she had no qualms about it. It was as if their family had given her leftovers and had to thank her for eating them instead of wasting them. How could there be such a disgusting person in this world? Xiao Yuner felt that she could no longer express her disgust. Second aunt, thank you for your kindness, but there are many people in my family, so it's not like I can't finish it. When eldest uncle and second uncle come to my house to work, we can serve the leftovers today. Xiao Yun replied with a fake smile. Speaking of this, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui felt that it was true. But if Liang Jinfen took away all the good stuff, then what were they going to eat when they returned? Second sister, Yun is right. When we return to work, there will be many men coming to work, so we can eat faster. That's right. We work every day, so we can eat more. You'd better not bring any leftovers. Leave them for us to eat. For their own benefit, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui diverted the topic to Xiao Yun's side again. After all, other people couldn't eat the leftovers, but they could come over to work every day to eat. Liang Jinfen smiled embarrassedly. Yun, what are you saying? How can your eldest uncle and second uncle serve leftovers? They have to cook new dishes every day. Chapter 1058. Xiao Yun didn't say anything. She wanted to see what Liang Jinfen was going to say. Xiao Yun was calm, but Xiao Yun's uncles weren't as calm. They said to Liang Jinfen, second sister, you're wrong. Cooking new dishes costs money. Second sister, big brother is right. Cooking new dishes costs money. Ping Her's family's money is money, isn't it? That's right. Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshun weren't really thinking about Xiao Yun's family and helping them save money. They were thinking about their own interests. Although it was leftovers, there was chicken, fish, and meat. It was much better than what they usually ate. Plus, the food that Xiao Yun cooked was delicious. If she gave it to Liang Jinfen, what else would they eat? At this moment, the other members of old Zhao's family also came out to join in the fun. Li Chuiying said at the top of his voice, Yun is giving leftovers to her relatives. Doesn't that mean we get a share too? Yun you can't be biased. If you give it to your mother's relatives, you have to give it to our relatives too, right? Feng Zhangsha came over and agreed. That's right. Ping Er's surname is Xiao, not Liang. If she's not an idiot, she'll know who she's closer to. Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangsha weren't easy to deal with. With such a good bargain, they naturally had to take advantage of it. They were already looking forward to Xiao Yun's family's dishes. If Xiao Yun gave it to the Liang family, there was no reason not to give it to them. With Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangsha stirring things up, the Liang family knew that it was fine if Xiao Yun didn't give it to them. Once she gave it to them, she couldn't be biased. Everyone had to give it to them. No matter how much leftovers there were, there wouldn't be much left after this. Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshun knew this, so they weren't stupid enough to ask for more. They hurriedly said to Liang Jinfen and the others, Okay, Yun's family held a banquet, so there's only so much leftovers. If you want it, I want it too. Yun can't get so much food. I think we shouldn't ask for it. That's right. Yun can give it to whoever she wants. If she doesn't give it to her, then keep it. Otherwise, my body to recover. Otherwise, my body can't recover, too. Liang Jinfin changed her words again, looking for an excuse from this aspect. Second aunt's body is weak. Isn't your family rich? Don't tell me you're greedy for our family's leftovers. Or is second aunt's family just like that? They're just pretending to be rich to show off in front of us. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so greedy for leftovers. Zhao Yun sneered. After saying that, Liang Jinfin's face turned green and white. She looked terrible. Of course, she couldn't say that her family was poor. If she wanted to take advantage of Zhao Yun's family, wouldn't that be embarrassing? If you don't want to give it to us, then don't give it to us. Really? I've never seen such a petty person. Liang Jinfin said angrily. Old Madame Liang looked at the family quarreling and couldn't help but say, okay, stop quarreling. You're quarreling over such a small matter. Seriously. Since old Madame Liang had spoken, the others couldn't say anything else. They agreed with old Madame Liang, Mother, you're right. We shouldn't quarrel. Chapter 1059. Liang Jinshun pushed all the blame onto Liang Jinfin. Mother, we didn't say that we wanted it. It was second sister who kept talking. Old Madame Liang sighed again and said to Liang Jinfin, Second sister, today is your eldest sister's wedding day. Don't make a fuss. If you want to make a fuss, pick a better day. What's the point of making a fuss now, don't you think so? Mother. Liang Jinfin wanted to say something but was interrupted by old Madame Liang. That's enough, second sister. Don't lie on the ground. Get up quickly. Only then did Liang Jinfin get up. Slowly, the relatives of the Liang family began to leave. Liang Jinfin went back unwillingly. After everyone left, Zhao Yun grabbed Liang Jinyu. Liang Jinyu looked at Zhao Yun in confusion. Yun what's wrong? Is something the matter? Zhao Yun nodded. Auntie, you're not in a hurry to go back, right? If you're not in a hurry, I have something to discuss with you. Liang Jinyu thought that although her family was busy, it was not impossible for her to leave. So she nodded and said, okay, then I'll stay for a while. Yun you can tell me if you have anything to say. There's no hurry, auntie. Let's talk inside. Liang Jinyu saw that Zhao Yun was being mysterious and wondered if it was something important. So she followed Zhao Yun into the room of the third branch. At this moment, Zhao Wenhua and Zhao Tianan were returning the tables and chairs one by one. After Liang Jinyu sat down, Zhao Yun told Liang Jinyu about the plan to raise pigs. After hearing this, Liang Jinyu was silent for a moment. Finally, she nodded and said, Yun, if your family really plans to raise pigs, your uncle-in-law and I will definitely be fine. But in the future, you don't need to share the profits with us. You just need to pay us. Liang Jinyu felt that Zhao Yun's family was responsible for the separation of assets. It would be fine if they succeeded, but if they failed, they would suffer a lot. Even if they succeeded, they would still get so much profit for her family. No matter what, it was her family who had taken advantage of them. Auntie, you don't have to be so courteous with our family. If I didn't look for you, I would still receive the same treatment if I looked for someone else. If you're not willing to do it, then I'll have to discuss it with someone else. Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Liang Jinyu had no choice but to say, Yun, let me do it. If we make money, it will be a loss to others. Liang Jinyu's heart ached for Zhao Yun's family. If she agreed now, she would discuss it again when Zhao Yun gave it to her. Then, everything would be fine. Then auntie, it's settled then. Liang Jinyu nodded. Yes, it's settled then. That's fine. Zhao Yuner saw that she didn't have to waste much effort to persuade her. But Yuner, when will your family's pigsty be built? When will we start raising pigs? Liang Jinfen asked. It would be best if it could be after the harvest in her family's fields was over. Auntie, after my family's house is built, we can build the pigsty. I estimate that we can start raising pigs in 3 or 4 months. When Liang Jinyu heard this, she felt that the timing was suitable. At that time, the rice in the fields would have basically been harvested. Then, there would be time to prepare to help Zhao Yuner's family raise pigs. Okay, Yuner, call me when you're ready. Zhao Yuner nodded heavily. Okay. After chatting for a while, Liang Jinyu got up and prepared to go back. Chapter 1060. She was the one who prepared all the meals at home, so the kids might not know how to cook. She couldn't possibly go home too late and let the kids starve. Zhao Yuner didn't ask Liang Jinyu to stay and allowed her to go home. Before Liang Jinyu left, Zhao Yuner went to the kitchen and took out some leftover meat dishes to pack for Liang Jinyu. Auntie, here, take this and eat. There's a lot left at home, so don't stand on ceremony with me. Bring it back for uncle, cousin, and cousin to try. Liang Jinyu glanced at Zhao Yuner and said, Yuner, that's not very nice. You can eat it yourself. Why are you giving it to me? Then she continued, your eldest uncle, second uncle, and second aunt didn't give it to you. It's not very nice to give it to me. Liang Jinyu wasn't standing on ceremony. She was just too embarrassed to accept it. Zhao Yuner smiled and comforted her, Auntie, you're different from eldest uncle, and second aunt. They all brought their families over for a meal, but you're the only one who came over. If you take this back, you won't be able to eat as much as eldest uncle, and second aunt. This. Liang Jinyu looked at the leftovers that Zhao Yuner handed to her and was still too embarrassed to accept it. Little sister, take it. Don't stand on ceremony with your family. Liang Jinchao also persuaded her. Okay then. Big sister, I'll take it then. Liang Jinyu hesitated for a while before taking it. Okay. After waiting for Liang Jinyu to go home, Zhao Yuner cleaned up the kitchen and prepared some meat dishes to bring back for Yili. However, when Zhao Yuner got home, there was no one in the house. Zhao Yuner thought that Yili had gone to the latrine again, so she waited in the house for a while. However, after waiting for half an hour, Yili didn't come back. Zhao Yuner sensed that something was wrong. She wondered if something had happened to Yili. Could it be that Yili accidentally fell into a cesspool? No. Zhao Yuner stood up with a ting sound and was about to go to the latrine to fish out the person. Before she went, she only hoped that if Yili really fell into the latrine pit, he wouldn't drown. She had to get there in time. Otherwise, she didn't know what to do. However, when Zhao Yuner arrived in front of the latrine and called out, no one answered her. He looked into the latrine pit but didn't see anyone. Where is he? Zhao Yuner frowned deeply. Since it was not in the latrine, then where was it? Zhao Yun had told Yili not to run around, let alone wander around in the village, so as not to be discovered and exposed. Therefore, if Yili didn't have anything to do, he should have informed her before something happened. Zhao Yuner hurried into the house, feeling a little uneasy. She flipped through Yili's mattress and found a letter on it. It was addressed to her. Zhao Yuner opened the letter and glanced at it. The general content of the letter was that Yili had left because he didn't want to trouble her anymore. His injuries were almost healed and there were no major problems. He could take care of himself. He was afraid that if he stayed too long with Zhao Yuner, he would be discovered and implicate Zhao Yuner. However, what Zhao Yuner didn't know was that Yili left because he knew that Mu Lianfeng would definitely come back. Chapter 1061. If Mu Lianfeng came back, how awkward would it be for him to come between them? He couldn't possibly be a third wheel and shamelessly refuse to leave, could he? If Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng got into a conflict because of him, he would feel even more guilty. So it was better for him to leave early. Even if he couldn't bear to part with Zhao Yun, sometimes loving someone didn't mean that he had to stay by her side. He just wanted her to be happy and safe. After Zhao Yun finished reading the letter, her brows knitted tightly together. This Yili, he really didn't want to live anymore. Where could he go now? Where could it be safer than her home? If he were to be exposed, wouldn't he lose his life as well? He was taking his own life as a joke. He didn't even have the slightest bit of responsibility for himself. However, even though Zhao Yun was angry, there was nothing she could do now. Since he was determined to leave this time, she wouldn't be able to find him no matter how hard she tried. Rather than that, she might as well give up struggling and just let it go. She couldn't stop others from leaving. She silently prayed for Yili in her heart, as long as he didn't get into any danger. Dowdy came back from playing outside. When he didn't see Yili, he asked Zhao Yun where Yili had gone. Your beautiful uncle left. Zhao Yun said. Left? Where did he go? Dowdy asked in his soft voice. Zhao Yun shook her head. Mom doesn't know where your beautiful uncle went either. Dowdy frowned. Mom, will he come back? Zhao Yun shook her head again. I don't know. Your beautiful uncle didn't tell me. After hearing Zhao Yun's reply, Dowdy couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Zhao Yun patted Dowdy's head and comforted him. He comforted her. All right, Dowdy, don't be sad. Uncle Handsome will have to leave one day. He can't live with us. It was better to leave earlier than later. The longer they stayed, the deeper their feelings would be, and the more reluctant they would be to leave. This was the so-called short pain is better than long pain. Mother, why can't Uncle Handsome live with us in the future? Dowdy was a little confused. That's because we have to live with your father, so we can't live with Uncle Handsome. Your beautiful uncle isn't our relative. Dowdy replied dejectedly. Although he didn't really understand, he knew that he couldn't be with Yili anymore. All right then. Mother. It's just that Dowdy won't be taught how to fly in the future. The corners of Zhao Yun's mouth curled up. It's okay, Dowdy. Your father is back. He can teach you. Dowdy's sunken eyes lit up for a moment. Mother, really? Can father teach Dowdy to fly as high as Uncle Handsome? Yes, he should be able to. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Dowdy's mood improved a lot. Yes, that's good. Mother, let's wait for father to come back together. Zhao Yun chuckled. Okay. Children were indeed easier to coax. If it were an adult, it probably wouldn't be so easy to coax. Of course, a child's sadness would only last for a moment. It would quickly erase the sadness. Zhao Yun's heart suddenly felt empty. Chapter 1062. Forget it, forget it. It's useless to think about this. Everyone has their own life. I should get used to this kind of parting. The second day after Zhao Ping arrived at her in-laws' house. At 7:00 in the morning, Qin Yuan opened his eyes. Because he drank too much yesterday, his head hurt a lot. He rubbed his forehead. Why does it still hurt so much after sleeping for a whole night? He was puzzled, but he didn't think too much about it. He thought that he was lying on his own bed. Just as he was about to get up, he realized that his clothes were naked. Then, he turned his head and realized that Zhao Ping was lying beside him. Zhao Pinger's ugly face that could not be any uglier was facing him. Qin Yuan screamed. He thought that he was dreaming. But after pinching himself, he felt the pain and knew that he wasn't dreaming. This was reality. This. How did he end up sleeping with that idiot Zhao Ping? From the looks of it, the two of them must have done something. Qin Yuan's frown deepened. His face turned pale as if he had encountered something terrifying. To Qin Yuan, doing that with Zhao Ping was indeed a very terrifying thing. Once he thought about how he had touched that idiot Zhao Ping, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. Because Qin Yuan screamed, Zhao Ping opened her sleepy eyes and asked Qin Yuan, "You? Zhao Ping, how did you end up on my bed?" Zhao Ping met Qin Yuan's angry and questioning face. "Big brother Yuan. We are married. Isn't it normal for me to be on your bed?" Zhao Ping lowered her head and said to Qin Yuan shyly, "Big brother Yuan, we even did that thing last night. We are a real couple now. I will be your wife in the future." It would have been better if he hadn't mentioned it. Now that he mentioned it, the Qin Yuan got even angrier. He felt worse than if he had eaten *T. Zhao Ping was that disgusting piece of shit, but he swallowed it. If it wasn't for the fact that his stomach was empty, he would have vomited. It's all because of this idiot. He was unconscious last night. What could he know? It must have been Zhao Pinger, that bitch, who forced him. She was really being trampled on after she got drunk. His parents were really too much. They clearly knew that he was drunk, yet they still handed him over to Zhao Ping. Didn't they deliberately let him be tainted by Zhao Ping? Qin Yuan snorted coldly and said to Zhao Ping, angrily, "Zhao Ping, you have some tricks up your sleeves." Zhao Ping, was stunned. She looked at Qin Yuan pitifully and said, "Big brother Yuan, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand?" Qin Yuan glared at Zhao Ping, and said, "Pretentious. You really know how to act in front of me." As he said that, Qin Yuan gritted his teeth and said, "Would rather do that with a sow than with you. You must have done something to me while I was drunk." Zhao Ping was still a little afraid when she met Qin Yuan's eyes. She lit the burning passion incense, so she felt a little guilty. If Qin Yuan found out, he would definitely be angry and scold her. So she couldn't say it. Chapter 1063. Qin Yuan was infuriated by Zhao Ping's words. Husband and wife. What husband and wife? He never treated Zhao Ping as his wife. Marrying Zhao Ping was because he was forced by circumstances. He had no other choice but to marry her. Could it be that this idiot really thought she was his wife? She didn't even take a look at herself. Who would be willing to marry someone like her? You. Qin Yuan was so angry that he didn't know what to say. His head hurt violently again, and Qin Yuan recalled what happened last night. Last night. He was indeed drunk and started to roll over Zhao Ping's body like a wolf or tiger. Furthermore, he was the one who initiated it. Once he thought about how passionately he rode over Zhao Ping's body, Qin Yuan's heart felt terrible. This slut. It's all her fault. If she had rejected him, it would have been fine. However, she didn't. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping ran over to Qin Yuan and called out pitifully, "Big brother Yuan. You can't blame me for this." Qin Yuan was unusually impatient. Zhao Ping, shut up. I'll settle this with you properly later. Big brother Yuan, scram. Qin Yuan pushed Zhao Ping away and climbed up from the bed. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan's back view as he left in a huff. She was so angry that she couldn't take it. She fiercely bit her lower lip. Why? Why did Qin Yuan treat her like this? He didn't even look at her. Wasn't this too much? However, what could she do? Qin Yuan just didn't like her. Being able to marry Qin Yuan was already good enough. She couldn't ask for so much. If she made Qin Yuan unhappy, that would be terrible. They had just gotten married. She didn't want to be divorced so quickly and rushed back. Otherwise, how embarrassing would that be? Qin Yuan didn't like her. It didn't matter if he didn't want to do it with her, as long as he was with her. As for Qin Yuan's unwillingness to have sex with her, it didn't matter either. Later, she would secretly light up the burning passion incense, and Qin Yuan would naturally be unable to control himself. When she was pregnant with Qin Yuan's child, even if Qin Yuan wanted to divorce her, he would not do it so easily. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping felt a lot better. However, after the torment last night, Zhao Ping felt that her body was abnormally heavy, and she could not move at all. Speaking of which, it was really tiring to do that. This was not an easy task. After having a good time with Qin Yuan, Zhao Ping felt extremely tired. Her whole body was a little limp. In addition, the Qin Yuan had been tossed around fiercely. Zhao Ping felt that some parts of her body were bruised. Especially down there, it was swollen. No. Her body was sore, tired, and painful. She really couldn't take it anymore. It was only 7 o'clock. It was still early, and she was very sleepy. Zhao Ping lay down on the bed again and wanted to continue sleeping. She wanted to sleep for a while more. She didn't want to get up now. After Qin Yuan left the room, he went to find the Qin couple. Yuan, why did you come out? Mu Chunfang saw that his son had gotten up early and asked with heartache. He had drunk a lot last night and even had sex until the middle of the night. He definitely didn't sleep well at this time. Since he didn't have anything important to do after waking up, he might as well sleep a little more. Chapter 1064. Qin Yuan's tone was full of resentment. If the Qin couple hadn't sent him to Zhao Ping's room, then last night's incident wouldn't have happened. What's wrong, Yuan? You're married, so shouldn't we send you back to your bridal chamber? Otherwise, where would we send you? Mu Chunfang asked. Mother, aren't you and father deliberately trying to harm me? You clearly know that I don't like Zhao Ping, but you still sent me to Zhao Ping, Isn't that too much? Qin Yuan complained. Mu Chunfang pursed his lips. Yuan, are you angry? What are you angry about? If he sent it to Ping's room, then so be it. Aren't you going to sleep with Ping sooner or later? Our family doesn't have that much space, so it wasn't easy for us to find a room. Qin Yuan's face was full of unwillingness. No, mother, I don't want to sleep with Zhao Ping. Mu Chunfang persuaded. Yuan, you can't not want to. You still have to sleep with Ping. We can't all squeeze into one room and let Ping sleep in another room, right? The family Qin only had a few rooms. Originally, Qin Yuan and his idiot older brother slept in one room, while the Qin couple slept in another. Because Qin Yuan had moved out a new room, they let Qin Yuan's idiot older brother sleep in the same room as the Qin couple. If Qin Yuan wasn't willing to sleep with Zhao Ping, then the family Qin could only sleep in the same room. Qin Yuan thought about it. This wouldn't do. He couldn't squeeze into the same room as his parents. He still had to squeeze in with Xiao Ping. However, sleeping in the same bed was definitely impossible. He had to sleep separately from Xiao Ping. However, his family was poor, and it seemed that he couldn't get a new bed. She could only squeeze together with Xiao Ping to sleep. There must be something in the middle to separate them. Qin Yuan felt that the reason he touched Xiao Ping was because he was drunk and confused. Under normal circumstances, she definitely wouldn't touch Xiao Ping. Qin Yuan was silent for a moment. Mom, all right then. I'll squeeze with that idiot Xiao Ping again. Hearing Qin Yuan's words, Mu Chunfang was relieved. He smiled and said, okay. Yuan, I've wronged you. But it's okay. In the future, when our family is better and we can build a big house, I'll let you marry a wife and live in a new house. Qin Yuan responded faintly. He didn't want to continue talking about this topic. In any case, he was in a very irritated mood right now. Mom, boil some hot water for me. I want to take a bath, Qin Yuan suddenly said. Take a bath. Mu Chunfang looked at Qin Yuan with some confusion and asked. Yes. Qin Yuan responded. Yuan, why are you taking a bath so early in the morning? Mom, go boil some water for me. Don't ask any more. Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Qin Yuan didn't want to mention the reason at all. After touching Xiao Ping's body, Qin Yuan felt extremely disgusted. He had to take a good bath. He rubbed his body with all his might and scrubbed his body clean. Otherwise, he would feel that he was dirty. Mu Chunfang thought that Qin Yuan drank too much yesterday, so his body felt very uncomfortable today. Hence, he didn't continue asking. He nodded and said, okay, Yuan. Wait a moment. It'll be done in a while. Qin Yuan responded faintly and went into the house. Chapter 1065. After the water was boiled, she called Qin Yuan over to take a bath. Yuan, come on. You can take a bath now. Okay, mother. Qin Yuan responded and took some water from the kitchen. He went into the house and washed his body from head to toe. This way, his body would feel much more comfortable. Mother, is Xiao Ping up yet? Qin Yuan asked Mu Chunfang after he was done. Mu Chunfang was stunned for a moment before he replied, no. Isn't Ping still sleeping in the house? Qin Yuan got angry when he heard that. Xiao Ping is still sleeping. I can forgive her for being ugly and stupid, but how can this woman be lazy? Since she married into our family Qin, she should know the rules of our family Qin. No one will spoil her. Normally, a virtuous woman would have already woken up, prepared breakfast, and served her in-laws. But this woman, Xiao Pinger, on the first day she got married, she slept in at his house. If word of this got out, people would only laugh at him for marrying an ugly and lazy woman. Mother, I'll go and wake her up. Qin Yuan said with a sullen face. Yuan, if Ping wants to sleep, let her sleep a little longer. What time is it? She's still sleeping. As lazy as a pig. Seeing that Qin Yuan was angry, Mu Chunfang didn't know what to say. Then why don't you wake Ping up? Okay. Qin Yuan responded and went into the house. Xiao Ping was lying on the bed, sleeping comfortably. She was lying on her stomach with her buttocks sticking up in an arc. She was even snoring loudly. The loud snoring made Qin Yuan frown in disgust. Why was Xiao Yun so disgusting? She made herself look like a man. No, it should be said that he looked like a pig. The moment he saw Xiao Ping like this, he became even angrier. Bang! After a loud noise, Zhao Ping jumped up in fright. He looked at Qin Yuan blankly and asked, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Big brother Yuan, what's wrong?" Qin Yuan snorted. "What's wrong? Zhao Ping, what do you think is going on?" Zhao Ping dug her nose and mumbled, "Big brother Yuan, I was sleeping just now. I don't know what happened." Qin Yuan was so angry that his chest hurt. "Zhao Ping you be *tch, shut up." Big brother Yuan, Zhao Ping didn't know what she had done to make her lover unhappy again. It was really strange. She didn't do anything. Why did Qin Yuan like to be angry with her? It couldn't be that he disliked everything about her, right? Big brother Yuan. If there's anything, just tell me. I'll listen to you. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan aggrievedly. Qin Yuan vented his anger. "Zhao Ping you're really something. It's the first day you married into my family, and you actually slacked off and didn't do any work. You slept until now. Aren't you ashamed?" Zhao Ping was very puzzled. "Big brother Yuan. Isn't it because you were too hard on me last night? Of course, I'm very sleepy. And I woke up. Why did I wake up? No one made me work. I don't know what I should do." Qin Yuan felt that if he spoke a few more words with Zhao Ping, he could shorten his lifespan by a few years. Chapter 1066. Zhao Ping mumbled, "Big brother Yuan. That's how it is. I don't do much chores at home." Qin Yuan laughed coldly. "That's why I said you're stupid. As a virtuous wife, shouldn't you wake up early to cook and serve me and my parents?" After Qin Yuan finished speaking, he looked at Zhao Ping with an unusually cold gaze. Zhao Ping realized that she had made a mistake and made Qin Yuan angry. "However, Big brother Yuan, I don't know how to cook." After Qin Yuan finished listening, he was so angry at Zhao Ping that he couldn't get angry anymore. He suddenly laughed, and his laughter made Zhao Ping's hair stand on end. "Big brother Yuan, Zhao Yun tell me, what do you know?" Zhao Ping thought about it. She really didn't know anything. "Look at yourself. Don't you know what kind of character you have? You're ugly, stupid, and lazy, and you don't know anything. Tell me, why would I marry a woman like you? Don't tell me you're going to be a decoration." "Ha! Decorations have to be pretty to be decorations. You're so ugly, so you can only be used to scare people. It's pretty good to be my family's door god. Whatever demons or ghosts come to my house, they'll be scared away when they see you." Qin Yuan scolded, and the words he said could be said to be merciless. Zhao Ping's face heated up when she heard Qin Yuan's words. She was very embarrassed by what he said. "Zhao Ping let me tell you. You have to be obedient in my house. Otherwise, I'll chase you out," Qin Yuan said sternly. "Big brother Yuan. I'll learn, okay. I'll get up now and cook for you." Zhao Ping nimbly got up from the bed. Seeing Zhao Ping like this, Qin Yuan didn't say anything. Zhao Ping went to the family Qin's kitchen. The stove was cold. Zhao Ping didn't know what to do. "Mother," Zhao Ping shouted at the top of her lungs. "What's wrong, Ping?" Mu Chunfang rushed out and asked. "Mother, I don't know how to cook. Can you teach me how to cook?" Mu Chunfang was easy to talk to. Okay. Mother will teach you, Mother will teach you." Mu Chunfang thought that once Zhao Ping learned how to cook, he could give this job to Zhao Ping. Then she would be able to live a happy life, and he would not have to meddle in the affairs of the family every day. This was the benefit of having a wife. Mu Chunfang was still very happy in his heart. Although Zhao Ping was a little stupid, as long as she was willing to do it and slowly teach her, these wouldn't be a problem. Come, Ping, Mother will teach you, Mu Chunfang said patiently. On the other hand, Zhao Yun's house was bustling with activity again. On the first day after Zhao Ping got married, Liang Jinxiao was still worried about whether Zhao Ping could adapt to the family Qin. However, it was useless for her to worry. Zhao Ping was now in the Qin family, and she couldn't manage the family Qin's matters. She only hoped that Zhao Ping wouldn't make the family Qin angry like she did at home. Mothers-in-law couldn't be compared to mothers. Mothers could be tolerant, but mothers-in-law might not. Fortunately, Mu Chunfang's personality wasn't like Hua Chunhua's. Otherwise, Zhao Ping would be tormented. When Zhao Ping returned home, she would ask her properly. She only hoped that nothing big happened. Zhao Yun had been busy the whole day yesterday, and today, she wanted to have a good rest. Tomorrow, she would go to the town to set up the stall and get busy. She hadn't had a good rest for a long time. Finally, she felt very comfortable. Chapter 1067. Mother, Daodu ran in front of Zhao Yuner and patted Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner poked her head out of the blanket and said to Daodu, "What's wrong, Daodu? Are you hungry? Mother will get up now and cook for you," Zhao Yuner said as she rubbed her fluffy hair. She was nestled in the blanket and her hair was messy, making her look like a lunatic. "No, Mother, Daodu ate at grandmother's house. I'm not hungry." Then Daodu came over to call Mother because, "Mother, Father is back," Daodu said to Zhao Yuner with a smile. There was a sweet smile on his little face, as if it could melt people's hearts. "Your father is back. Where is he?" Zhao Yuner was curious. "Mother, Father just came back to the village. Daodu came back to inform you in advance." Zhao Yuner was stunned for a few seconds before she hurriedly got out of bed. He was indeed her biological son. If he didn't come to inform her earlier, then wouldn't Mu Lianfeng be a lazy woman when he came back to see her still in bed at this time? Plus, with her current appearance and messy appearance, which man would like her? Thus, Zhao Yuner hurriedly climbed out of bed. She had to tidy herself up before Mu Lianfeng came back. However, just as Zhao Yuner climbed out of bed, she heard a noise outside. Then, the door to her house was pushed open and a man came in. This man was Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng rushed all the way back, hoping to come back as soon as possible. He wanted to return to Zhao Yuner's side and spend time with Zhao Yuner and Daodu. However, when he pushed the door open and entered, he saw a woman looking at him with an exaggerated expression. The woman's hair was also messy, as if she had experienced something. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Ping a few times before he confirmed that the person standing in front of him was Zhao Yuner. Mu Lianfeng exclaimed in surprise. "N." Zhao Yuner responded. She lowered her head and wished she could find a hole to hide in. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked worriedly, "Yuner, what happened to you? Did something happen?" Mu Lianfeng didn't dislike Zhao Yuner. Instead, he was worried that something might have happened to Zhao Yuner. I didn't run into any trouble." Zhao Yuner pursed her lips awkwardly. "I just woke up and didn't have time to wash up, so..." Mu Lianfeng understood Zhao Yuner's words, but he was still very surprised after hearing them. "I see." After speaking, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. "Yuner, did you sleep until now because you weren't feeling well?" "Yes." No, Xiao Yun stuttered and didn't know how to reply. If she said yes, it wouldn't be right. Mu Lianfeng would think that she wasn't feeling well and was worried about her. But if she said no, wouldn't that be admitting that she hadn't slept until now purely because she was lazy and not because she was feeling unwell? Yuner, is it true or not? Mu Lianfeng's concerned gaze fell on Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's ambiguous answer really made him anxious. No, I'm not feeling unwell. I just felt sleepy, so I slept until now, Zhao Yun said softly. Before she could raise her head, she was pulled into someone's arms. Chapter 1068. Zhao Yun was caught off guard and plunged into someone's embrace. What followed was a fresh and familiar scent. Zhao Yun's head was knocked on. Then, she heard Mu Lianfeng gently call in her ear, Yun. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yun tightly when Zhao Yun fell into his arms. He didn't know how long it had been since he hugged Zhao Yun like this. During the days when he was away, he missed Zhao Yun so much that he almost went crazy. Every day, he thought about Zhao Yun. He thought about her when he was eating, drinking, and even when he was sleeping. If it weren't for the mission, he would have rushed back to Zhao Yun and spent some time with Zhao Yun. Now, he dawdled until this time and finally rushed back. Zhao Yun wanted to struggle, but she couldn't break free. You'll suffocate me like this. Zhao Yun muttered to Mu Lianfeng. There was a hint of shyness in her voice. Mu Lianfeng whispered in Zhao Yun's ear, Yun, I miss you so much. So pretentious, you've only been away for a few days and you're already missing me. Zhao Yun muttered. She was just joking with Mu Lianfeng. Yun, haven't you heard of this saying? A day apart feels like 3 years. Although I haven't been away for long, I miss you very much, miss you. Mu Lianfeng said affectionately. The words, miss you, kept echoing in Zhao Yun's ears. Zhao Yun felt her face still burning. Because of Mu Lianfeng's words, she felt a little shy. She was in such a mess, but Mu Lianfeng could say such affectionate words to her. She couldn't help but admire Mu Lianfeng. This man. Did he despise her? Yuner, what's wrong? Don't you miss me? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked softly. How could Zhao Yuner not miss him? Although Zhao Yuner had a lot of things to do during Mu Lianfeng's absence, she was still thinking about Mu Lianfeng and hoped that he would come back soon. Because of him, she could feel that she had someone to protect her and support her. She had a sense of dependence that she had never had before. Otherwise, if she was alone, she would have to shoulder any problems by herself. Yuner, do you miss me? Mu Lianfeng asked again. Zhao Yuner asked back, what do you think? I think you miss me. Mu Lianfeng answered directly. Since you know that I miss you, why are you still asking when you already know the answer? Zhao Yuner glared at him coquettishly. Mu Lianfeng chuckled and said, Yuner, I want to hear you say that you miss me. Zhao Yuner saw that Mu Lianfeng had become like a child and couldn't help but shake her head. He was already an adult, but he was still willful when it came to some things. Zhao Yuner could only say, yes, I miss you. During the time you were away, I missed you very much. With Zhao Yuner's words, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Yes. Zhao Yuner didn't know if she could say that Mu Lianfeng was childish. If you're done hugging me, let me go. Zhao Yuner murmured, you're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.